We're live. Hello, sirs and madams, and welcome to Saving Star Trek. I am your host, Admiral JT Kirk. Yes, that's right, folks. And I'm joined by my fellow officer of the fleet, Commodore Germ. Good evening, sir.
Hey, everybody.
And we had a small change in leadership. Something about Admiral Teague being in a certain part of the world on an away mission, and things didn't go so well. Anyway, that teaches him for wearing a red shirt. I don't know what that was all about, but hey, so we're going to be talking Star Trek this evening, Star Trek that we love. Real Star Trek, in fact, Star Trek Enterprise Season 4. So I hope y'all will kick back and enjoy that with us. Germ, were you there for Thursday's show where we went through Starfleet Academy?
I was there for about 90% of it. It was a 5.5 hour show.
Oh, goodness. How painful was the episode?
Well, watching it, I have some chemical assistance, but reliving it during our broadcast, I just couldn't take all of it.
Yeah, I understand. So I wasn't there Thursday, folks. I had another engagement that came up that took precedence, and but I did write a full page of notes. And the Admiral, before his demise, in cashiering out of the Starfleet, told me that I should do a rant. So, I think that you all, after 5.5 hours on Thursday, probably had well enough of that episode. But I would just like to say this. It was the worst Star Trek that calls itself Star Trek. It's fake Trek that we've ever seen. And yeah, Buddy Hepburn, we must sterilize, as we would want to say, Starfleet Academy straight off the face of the earth. Okay, this show was so bad this past week. I had maybe 3 pages of notes compared to the normal 6 or 7, and I actually had sections, time codes, where I was going to give the audience permission just to skip it on their first watch. And there was several. I think there was about 7 spots where you could skip at least a minute or more, including the entire final 9 minutes of the episode. So if you wanted to know what I thought about that, I gave it an F. Or for the people on the other side of the pond, I gave it a bloody F. This thing is such a failure. I really just hope Paramount goes ahead and cancels whatever they have for season 2 and just say, you know what, it's not even worth it. It's too damaging to our brand, too damaging to the Star Trek brand, and nobody's watching it except to make fun of it or be enraged. So that's my calm, my chill rant. Folks, thank you for joining us. The Admiral Teague was having some technical difficulties. He unfortunately didn't make it. He was lost in the transporter buffer. And good evening to Captain Sean. This is your Admiral, JT Kirk, and Commodore Germ. So welcome, Captain. How are you?
Acting Captain.
Oh, acting Captain Sean.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get out of the seat.
Hey,
I had to go.
Hey, how did that happen? Well, I'm glad they reconstituted you out of the transporter buffer there, Admiral.
Oh, yeah, how's my sound? Is it better?
Well,
I've got my dress uniform on.
Uh-oh, it's red.
It's like the rest of contracts.
Admiral, I did give my opinion of this last week's
Hello,
episode.
everybody. Oh, you're talking about Starfleet Academy?
Yeah, fake Trek. Yes.
Yeah, season 3 possibly in a little bit of trouble. Who would have seen that one? JT didn't get to be here, so I guess you're well vented on that one now. Did you have a chance to enjoy the stream and all the art that I did for it?
Oh yes, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
I would say that you are a man who maybe had some schooling in the early 90s and has had over
It's
3
true.
decades of experience.
I only know how to do it in DOS. But I found that by just having the drive to do it right, I've created some really enjoyable art like that doesn't really seem to work with putting on StreamYards right now, where we have everything going kind of weird. All right. Hey, radioactive actual. How painful was Kurtzman Hogwarts? Step into the agonizer booth. People were putting that meme on the internet. I think it was, what was it? Someone put it in my conversation with Lucas Star Wars Girl. Like everybody's just dumping on the show. It's now the worst Star Trek show ever. I mean, it's not the most destructive because it's not dealing with characters we know. When Laura Thok goes away, we're not going to give her another thought.
You know, what's really funny is I've tried to find some reviews of this last episode, or the last 2 weeks worth of episodes, and I've tried to go to normie channels, aka people I know that aren't Star Trek fans, and just to see what they actually would say, because a lot of them didn't even watch the first few episodes. They're just kind of dipping in because they've heard of all the bad publicity. And I'm thinking, well, maybe these people love watching Hallmark Channel or Sabrina the Teenage Witch or High School Musical.
Sabrina beats up on this.
That's
the show. That's the show that's in there at like number 8. Like there's like 3 unremarkable shows ahead of it. When this show like pushes its way into 10, it's because it was a slow week for Sabrina. Like, go Melissa Joan Hart, The Power of Long Island.
I think that is the Netflix Sabrina, not Melissa Joan Hart Sabrina.
No, it's on the Paramount, but that's the one that's on the Paramount internal.
You're right.
Losing the Melissa Joan Hart one on the Paramount.
There's no way they're going to be showing Netflix Sabrina on Paramount now.
it's the one from the old UPN. It's Melissa Joan Hart explains it all. I think it's funny that they had the Clarissa episode and like Clarissa's still kicking their ass.
Yeah. Oh, but all these normies on their YouTube review, right? They'll go through and just eviscerate this and say they too will say this is the worst TV they've ever seen. So I know that it's not some kind of bias, right? That we as Star Trek fans would have against this, right? And we're not doing some overly nerdy, unforgiving nitpicking on it. No, people that don't know who Benjamin Sisko is hate that show. Hate it with a passion. And they all have their own reasons, and a lot of their critiques echo ours. So that way, I kind of use them as a control group to make sure that we are grounded for our audience. And Admiral Teague, we would like to be nothing if not grounded. We could also be based on your channel, but yeah. So anyway, enough of fake Trek. Admiral, we have an episode of Enterprise.
We have a fantastic episode of Enterprise, to be honest with you. This is the best episode 2 of 3 that we ever do. I intentionally didn't watch the 3rd episode of the arc because I feel like I want to see it in context. I don't remember that episode too well. I had some memory of this one. So like I'm realizing the reason why I don't recall episode 3 too well is what we're going to do is in episode 2, we'll more or less end our story. Almost all the events of the Federation's first alliance are taken care of. Then we're going to have like what could be considered a standalone episode 3. Like if you just see it and then everyone's working together in episode 3, like unless there's a heavy callback, it seems to me that they've set up an episode 3 that will have but doesn't need that's too bad. That has but doesn't need any more help as I try to fix that.
So radioactive, I have to ask, how did you feel this past week about 3 of 10 switching houses? I mean, the Sorting Hat had to have been angry. that it was defied. 3 of 10 was clearly sorted into House War College and not House Starfleet Academy.
Thank you, by the way, Radioactive.
Yeah.
And guys, am I 5x5 out there? We did our best with this one, but between StreamYards and we found out my modem's a little jerked up, and also just the new updates with Windows. Like, we are having all sorts of fun with competing operating systems. Welcome to the future. We're going to still give you the best show we can. Maybe a little less Admiral Teague this week, which would be fine too. I have a quick recap sort of what happened last week. Last week, we had the Tellarites and their pals, the Andorians, having nothing but problems. And it came to a head with a breakout by the Andorians to attack the Tellarites, who there's a history of antagonism between these two species. There was a standoff. There was like maybe what you would call a hostage crisis. It didn't get too hot, but it was pretty bad. And then when it was kind of over, we made sure we nailed down the sequence of events on Gerb Show. It's not the ambassador who blows away, who fires at Talus, but one of the people with the Tellarite delegation. Because what's happened is we were running into Shran because he sends a mayday after being attacked by the Tellarites. Archer picks him up and is inclined to believe his account. The Tellarites aren't. It's all the douchebag Romulans jerking around and causing problems. But basically,
was it true the Tellarites left and went to Blue Sky?
I got attacked today on Blue Sky for the first time. I go over there and do the same stuff I do here. I'm the same person. And if you grok me, I guess like Grok has an opinion, but like ask it how often I go political, and then ask it again. Like if you eliminate New York City politics, like I try to stay really out of that one so they could be a Star Trek entertainer for everybody. But over on Blue Ski, it was like someone like went back like a year and like took my post from last year and like reposted it as something, trying to stir up like political discontent. It was just like absolutely the most milquetoast thing. So over there, like over here, you over on X, you block people, and that has its pros and cons. Over there, you cancel people. So as soon as they like screenshot me in bad faith, because I don't think you can retweet people there. It's so weird that they didn't just retweet it. I guess they didn't want to boost the algo. I don't know, but they screenshotted me there, saying like, you know, there is no leadership on the left. It's a dysfunction of one side of our political system. And that was seen as treasonous. And I'm like, how? It's like, I stand by that. How is that not true? In February of 25. And then I canceled the person so I wouldn't have to deal with them because it was bad faith.
Also,
and there's no other way to do it. I don't like going over there.
There's nothing political about having America's shark fin either. I mean, that's just good style.
America's shark fin is the only way we'll ever accept it.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
Radioactive, it's pronounced. Tellurite! Germ thinks the Tellurites are supposed to be from New York. You want to edify on that one, Germ? What is it that's so particularly in New York about them?
Arrogant, rude. So all around New York.
The part
might as well pick them up in Brooklyn.
You like the part where if you're not rude to them, they won't respect you, and that the default code of behavior is to be just really damn rude.
As I said, New York through and through.
Now, a question I've always had about this, Admiral, is why is it called Brooklyn style pizza? Why wouldn't it just be called New York style pizza? No one's ever made a Queens style pizza.
Yeah, well, we make the pizza better in Queens. It's so funny. Like, I'm forced to watch the Starfleet Academy coming attractions before Enterprise. I'll spare everybody, but it looked. Oh God! All right, no, I won't spare you. I had to see this. Now you do too. You know the rules. When you signed up, you found it. Look at this lie.
CBR. What it perfectly blends the old and the new is that when you don't flush and you take a second dump on top of the first one and call it SFA. I get a daily ad in my YouTube feed to try out Star Trek Starfleet Academy. And I'm like, why? Why are you even spending the money on that?
Janet Reno, ladies and gentlemen, Janet Reno. This, at least this makes sense. They're showing it before Star Trek. I mean, Landman's doing fine. And Melissa Joan Hart thanks Star Trek for the competition. You pushed Melissa up to like number 8. They had to drop the qualifications for 10 or something.
You know what is funny
Look how
about
you
this?
would never know this was the show we watched from this previously on. It is completely unrelated to what we watched.
Oh, right. This at least helps them when they cancel season 2. We'll say, Kurtzman, we tried as hard as we could. For every episode of real Star Trek, we played your slop, and still no one watched.
I think the Ellisons, like whatever else they are, they enjoy watching Star Trek. They've expressed it too many times. So whether or not any theories we have about the rights are correct, and everybody's speculative on this one, this episode, I mean, what's their triumph? That they remembered that since it was a singularity drive, it should be different. So this ship has the singularity drive ship, the Miyazaki, that was completely destroyed. There it is in the background looking in fairly good. That looks pretty salvageable to me. They put the nacelles underneath like a Romulan ship because it has Romulan drive. The last episode did not follow up on this episode. What they do now is they gave us the entire story of this episode in the previously on. Honestly, if there's any 2-part stories, like if you could find out, like watching retroactively, if someone asks you for advice, you could just be like, watch episode 3 and 6 to get the whole story of like the
but they're never going to do a 2-part story because it was written by like 7 different people.
Also, you have to portion out your Holly Huntard and your Paul Giottardi.
Well, you realize, or you noticed probably, that the characters in all of their attitudes and emotions and all of that reset like 4 weeks because the person that wrote episode 8 wrote like episode 3 or something like that.
I had said
everything
that
about their characters just roll back to the last time they wrote something.
First of all, thank you, Radioactive. And I did say it seemed like they missed a week. It was out of sequence because now it's even more out of sequence because this week's episode follows hot on the heels of what we saw before. We saw all this action where this is a training exercise for the Academy. They like to go places and attempt to salvage this ship. It's in some kind of dangerous area in space, and they attempt.
Admiral, are you still there?
No, yeah, you know what I did? I turned on YouTube, and it's not as crackly or weird at all on YouTube. I think it's within our StreamYard's environment, so I feel encouraged.
All right.
I've heard that before, where everyone sounds like they're echoing it the next day. It's fine, so we're okay. We're as 5x5 as it gets. Krimlon is here. Everybody's here. I'll greet you guys in a second. We're just setting up this show, and we'll say hi to everybody, and then we'll give you the plot synopsis of Enterprise, and we'll give our review. This one was a fun episode. But the Starfleet Academy episode that we saw on Thursday, it followed up on one 2 weeks earlier. That spring break thing out of nowhere. They've rewound that. Watch them do like midterms for semester 1 next and start talking about semester 2 in the future. They don't know what they're doing. They're like,
what?
Intentionally do math wrong. They intentionally.
We just lost you for a good 5 seconds there.
They continuously do math wrong.
Well, math is powerful. You know that. Tilly told us that's the power of math,
Also,
people.
Sausicist.
Yeah, you know what? That's one thing I do need to address this week before we go any further is those of you who were here with us last week saw the terrible thing that happened. We tried to have a guest on the show, and what happened was when we engaged the new transporter, which I only put in 2 weeks ago, there's a terrible accident, and I don't know if he remembers it, but do you remember, Sean, what happened? Or do you only remember when you rematerialized as yourself?
Yeah, well, with the voice anomalies.
we all had a close personal relationship and a talk with Sean Cock, or is it Doom Carter?
Doom Carter.
We talked to Doom Carter, and we were all friends with him until he made a passionate plea for his life. Then we all stared into space.
Yeah,
we
Overlord
just
DVC.
Overlord
DVC. Yeah.
I actually held him down on the table and put the hypodermic, the hypo spray right there, and knocked him out. We just like threw him on the pad, beamed away, and beamed you back. You were kind of out of it.
Yeah,
That's why after the show it was such a blur.
Oh yeah, it was a long night.
Everybody put in journeyman work, guys. We'll get the next one done in 4. I promise. And with that, I would just say that was fun. I don't know if we'll revisit the character, but I re-listened to that segment. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's hilarious, and the voice was kind of hilarious because it was like it made you sound trans. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
You don't sound like it was.
I was a little embarrassed about it.
I've done so much worse. I had I started off the show with the camera microphone on, and I still am the worst StreamYards producer in the world. Don't be embarrassed. It was legitimate funny. I re-listened to it today and I was laughing. It was legit funny. Like, what can you do? Like, the criticism repeatedly, and by the way, StreamYards is acting sluggish when I click, so who knows? The repeated criticism of Star Trek is like it's a bunch of old people and boomers. We're not boomer age, but we made our fair share of boomer mistakes, and it's kind of funny. So, like, we had a comedy on both intentional and unintentional levels last start the new Trek show. What else are you going to do? Like, that's how the coping with it is going to be difficult. And I would just say that, all my life, I've wanted to fight for the soul of Star Trek, the optimism, the exploration, and the morality, the moral clarity that we grew up with. And, now is all of our chance together to stand up for real Star Trek. And on Thursday nights, when we call out the bad Star Trek, I would point out we don't do bad at all. We do quite well. And you guys are very, very engaged. And it is just, it's not quite a roast because, like, I don't think any of us want it to be that bad. We would hope for an episode that, like, maybe Kurtzman, like, lost some sleep and, like, developed a sense of shame or honor or whatever it is that keeps him from being unable to do this. But guys, as a reincarnated 16th century man, Thursdays are hard to deal with.
Oh, you roboted there, Admiral.
Yeah, it's my modem, I guess. As a reincarnated 16th century man, Thursdays can be hard to deal with because Kirkman Trek has no honor.
Yeah, here I'll give everyone a sample if anyone wasn't with us on Thursday. This is what I sounded like.
So, I'm the Geminar's parent, and I don't know. I'm gonna go hide now.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was bad.
It was hilarious.
Apparently, it was like 30 minutes I was talking like that.
It was only like 30 minutes, but it was freaking hilarious. I mean, first of all, like, the missed cues, like they were hilarious. Us, like, trying to figure out what was going on, also equally hilarious. Like, then the moment of acceptance, like 90 seconds in, where everybody else just decides to go with it. And just going forward, like the unacknowledged, just simply going on in your monologue, not playing into it at all. It became quite funny. I was enthralled by the end, and I thought it was hilarious, to be honest. And you know what? Some people may say it's unprofessional, but you know what?
I don't care.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
Totally unintentional.
you know what? We needed to address it. It was totally unintentional, but you won't see Sean Cock back. But well, maybe. But we just did see him. But we just broke our own promise that we just made. Like Sean Cock will probably be back. But like we're not going to do bits or anything. It was a mistake, and I analogized it to the Voyager episode.
Doom Carter also has a salamander that he has to keep under guard. The salamander's name is Smarmy Abubu.
If I was a less creative man, I would change the name of my show to Pop Culture Voyager and just have Sean do the voice the whole time.
Oh, God.
You know what?
Boy.
Sometimes we get that, Sean. It was fucking hilarious. What are you gonna do?
I'm laughing at the superior intellect.
Yeah.
And did we do anything wrong?
Sure. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
Which I'll also say, if anybody here did see the plea from Blue Sky, welcome. You're among Star Trek fans. No one here is going to call you out if you want to lightly talk about things. You can't change what's going on in the real world, but we're not going to talk about it because, just like that story's going to keep going. There'll be plenty of time to reflect on it. I'm here weekdays. We talk about the real world. So we're not going to talk about that one. And also, Admiral's just not up to speed. I'm just not up to speed. So we'll figure that one out later. But you know what? Just to give you guys an idea, in these next months, as one era winds down, we should stand together, united, to demand the next era honors what came before. Okay, no more compromise. Bring back the stars with vision like Archer. Bring back Scott Bakula as Archer. Disney has tried this. You cannot deep fake or pretend to bring back your people in any real way. I will say that the William Shatner deep fake is different because he was involved on every single level down to facial maneuvers and instructed he basically directed he was micro director of how that guy should move, of how that guy should hold his hands, of that guy's posture. And that guy's played William Shatner as body double for Shatner before. So it's his preferred body double. Unification is the only, and that it's not fake. It's de-aged, but that is the only, and I guess it's not substituted at all because it's still him. That is the only sort of CGI resurrection or CGI ghost anyone really digs or wants to see. No one wants like CGI Ghost Han in any Star Wars show. No one likes Skinwalker Luke. And we found that recasting has limited appeal. It was tried once to some success, but the movies were so stupid that now everyone's turned off to everything. And tolerance is gone, and goodwill is gone. Paramount can probably get both of those back within a year of Kurtzman Trek ending. I mean, honestly, spend the first year building up a war chest by re-releasing upscale versions of the old stuff. Get tons of interviews with the cast, edit them to make them calmer. Let them say anything crazy. Do not include anyone who took part in New Trek except Jerry Ryan because people want to look at her. Edit that heavily so she doesn't say anything crazy. And that wouldn't be censorship. That's a bonus feature. It doesn't matter. What's important is a upscaled, preserved versions of we have it for TNG, but we don't have it for DS9 and Voyager, do we?
No, I don't think so.
You know, they have been slated, but they've been in the slate for about 5-6 years now.
They don't have like the $1.4 million to do the whole thing.
No, yeah.
It's a darn shame. You know what? The current chapter could be ended. And you know what? We could ignite the next true generation, okay? The Sussman United thing, you know what? Archer as president in a chaotic time. I mean, it's close enough without being on the nose the way modern Star Trek is. We saw, if anything, like he touched the stove once. Sussman knows not to get too current. I would think that would be something that would be his takeaway. And in this one, which involves Manny Koto, who I hope he gets back, and I think him and Koto still collaborate. I think Koto does that show that they got Todd Stashwick from. I think Kodo's on that one too with him. So they have a relationship. But this is what I'm thinking. We don't have to live in this horrible, lawless, storyless, plotless, joyless mirror universe anymore.
Oh, sir, there's a request.
Sir, we have to
What is
send
the-
for Albert Einstein. Sir, he's very busy. Sir.
Oh, wait. Wrong button.
Admiral
you go.
Teague, incoming super chat.
I hit the wrong thing.
JT Kirk,
It
thank
looks,
you.
yeah, it looks like somebody's asking for Overlord DVC to recite a monologue from Blade Runner.
JT Kirk for 5 Greenlandian greenbacks asked Doom Carter to recite the monologue from Blade Runner.
Oh,
Roy Batty's monologue from Blade Runner. Hold on, I'm working on it. See, you can tell when I glitch out and pause for a moment. It's when I'm like Googling stuff or trying to get the speech. I've also been stuck on caps lock for a while, so I'm just shouting at Grok. Fuck you, Grok. Well, this is why Skynet's going to go really hard on me.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Strike ships on fire off the elbow of Sagittarius, like tears from Michael Burnham.
There we go.
There it was.
Thank you, Overlord Doom Carter.
Doom Carter has Doom Carter will always be with us. What we said, we didn't set out to do a Doomcock routine, but it happened, and it was like our Tuvix, and it's hilarious. It just happens to go with the new transporter effect. The first, like within 2 weeks of the new transporter, we had a Voyager-like transporter malfunction.
I mean, doesn't anyone see what we're doing is wrong?
You know what? That was sometimes you just gotta go with it. There's chaos and there's live streaming.
Doesn't anyone see that this is wrong?
Thank you, JT.
You know,
Kirk.
I've been playing that Voyager game. This is a real Trek topic, I guess. I've been playing the Star Trek Voyager game, and man, it is very faithful to the TV show. Like every kind of side thing you do, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Is
episode.
it good though? Like the demo, I was just like too much resource collecting, and everyone's whining and bitching because they're not happy. Did they fix some of that stuff from the demo?
Well, I mean, there is a lot of resource collecting and ship management and some things like that, but there's also, you know, much more of the rolling for success, like a D&D kind of quasi choose your own adventure. And then like the third part of it is what I would call Star Trek Online level ship combat.
It's a game we can play on. It's a game we could play on here without much trouble while we had a conversation, to be honest with you.
Sure.
Yeah, because there's enough breaks and pauses and stuff.
And
So
it's
I'm
deeply turn-based. Hold on, just before we go any further, though, I want to just shout out everybody. It's like at the 30-minute mark, maybe I should say hello. Guys, I want to appreciate everyone who's here. We got Radioactive, JT Kirk, The Dead Man, Crimwan, Rocco the Brave, Gavin Blackburn, Mark Harkness, Wallace Lang, Cal L 64, Sean Carter, John the Beagle Dad, Go Badgers 1995, right? James Caserta, E8C, Buddy Hepburn, hello, Buddy Hell, sir. Daniel T USA, FKHC 2005, FKHC 2005, Resolute Germ, Lombardi 1969, my good friend Kronos 9860, and the Tetrarch of Atrophy, as well as John the Beagle Dad, Mark Harkness, as I say to you, and others. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Gavin Blackburn, I think I said. I'm so happy that we're all here. We've got a great episode. James Caserta, we've got a great episode of Star Trek for you tonight. You're going to love it. Daniel, USA, 1095. I just realized the Tellarites are New Yorkers. All right. Well, you know what? The analogy seems to hold. I would just say the Tellarites would have a better leader. He's far the Tellarite leader is like he's gruffer and louder than our leader, but he's far more pragmatic, sensible, and he's a lot cooler than the leader of New York City right now, as far as I'm concerned, as a citizen of this fair city.
Oh, if I met your leader as a Tellarite, I would say your sidewalks are so shoveled and clean.
You know what?
The ultimate insult in yeah.
If you want to know about the accuracy of using X as a news source, you could see Admiral Teague's private conversation with our friends today, where I was like, "What did we win? I heard we won something today, or like 4:45 in the afternoon." I was like, "Ah," and then when the situation was explained to me, I was like, "Who?" And so what? We'll move on from that one.
The Olympics. It was the Olympics. Yeah.
It was the Ozempics. It was the Ozempics.
Well, so
we were still talking about how great Mary Wiseman looked.
Back to this Voyager thing I was going off on. The every time I'm given the option or the choice to keep Tuvix or split them up, I deliberately just keep Tuvix because then I don't have to listen.
To Tim Ross?
Actually, well, every time you go to a new sector, you get like you get Locarno reading his ship's log, but then you have Tim Russ deliver his log, not even trying to sound like Tupac anymore. So
do they have voices in the game now?
When you go from sector to sector, not
okay.
not every line. Yeah, it's just like a chapter intro to everything.
Okay,
They added those like kind of voiceovers there. Yeah, but if you pick Tuvix, it just removes those voiceovers from every chapter. I'm like, sweet. I don't have to listen to Tim Russ anymore.
And 7 of 9 can pull the load on the science stuff.
Yeah. It also messes up the Kess storyline if you have Tuvix. Because, all this stuff with Species 8472 and all of her.
Falls in love with Tuvix.
Oh, God.
Well, they don't actually do that. Which is probably for the best. I think they realize how creepy it is to have someone of that age doing that type of activity. I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to move away from that one, and we're going to swing back into our episode of Enterprise. So this is the point where I will know to put a chapter, because this is what I do. I go from the mirror universe to the regular universe Enterprise. There you go. Here comes the synopsis and the analysis for this week. Listen, this is very important that you like, follow, and share this stream, because in my last life, I was fortunate enough to live in a time where I was able to, lead the Third Army across Europe and relieve Bastogne. But in this
you were there.
Yeah, I was there. And I wow, sound effects aren't working.
Defending the city.
There we go.
Yeah, the
Attacked by
glitching's
3
getting
Roman
pretty bad.
Legions.
Is it?
Arab women.
It seems to be
stripped them of
StreamYards.
their tunics and their swords and lances. The soldiers lay naked in the sun. 2,000 years ago, I was here. Well, this match will not be postponed.
Hey, Rocco the Brave, it's good to see you, my friend. Tetrarch, I remember what that means. Isn't that like a revolving 3-person monarchy? So
That's a triumvirate. That's a triumvirate.
In Rome, it's a triumvirate because they weren't kings. I think it's a tetrarchy. Tetrarch, tell us. It's good. It's good to see you. Am I borging right now? What can I
Not
tell
at the
you?
moment.
Okay.
Well, but you were 30 seconds ago.
It's just coming and going. My router's getting replaced tomorrow, everybody, so don't worry. The Admiral's ability to communicate will be here by Tuesday, which is my next show after this anyway. Okay, so
I don't know if it's the router though, because we're all coming through. It's just your speech. Because if it was the router, we would all be
think
glitching
really what
to various
happened is-
degrees.
This is just a transporter accident. You know, I let everybody know that you were lost in an accident. You know, even though transporting really is the safest way to travel, and then somehow you magically appeared. So I don't know what that was all about, but it seems like maybe you're still glitching. You have like a Wallace
Tetrarchy
and
is a
Gromit
rule of
glitch.
4.
Yeah.
Okay, I was close. I was off by 1. I was like, when I saw the name again the other day, I was like, Guardian of Azeroth, I'll figure out one day, but Tetrarchy, I think I got. Okay, so Triarchy would be the
Yeah,
one.
folks. in the
I just
background,
went and
you
listened
can't
to us
see it.
over on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm going to go under the assumption that the distortion is far more apparent in the StreamYard's environment. And since I'm the
Maybe.
point of
I
origin,
mean, really, you just have
Anyone
a glitch
watch-
in your code, and your Wallace and Gromiting like glitching everywhere.
when I listen back
Oh.
on YouTube, it doesn't seem as bad. I don't know.
mean,
Next time it happens, tell me so I can check.
Well, in any event, Star Trek Enterprise.
All right, let's see how
Shall
this
we?
goes. Okay, listen. The Romulan drone ship disguised as the Enterprise destroys the Regilian scout ship, framing humans and escalating the regional tensions. Meanwhile, Trip and Malcolm remain trapped aboard the drone, struggling to survive as it maneuvers and attempts to and they're attempting to sabotage it from within. So we have the two most destructive and effective people on the Enterprise. There is a case that you should never let Trip leave the ship because it's too important. He could fix anything and bring people back and forth a lot quicker. If the transporter had gone out after they beamed him back, we have no story though. So I get it. It's not so much convenient writing as they put Trip in a position to be very believable. It's earned suspension of disbelief. They've overcome that obstacle by having Trip also be like, he's just badass military second in command and the best point man on a technical mission too. It might outweigh his ability to fix the ship a little bit faster than his guys. I think considering the training that we talked about, I think that you guys have something. So my voice is still in the transporter void. Hopefully it's keeping up fairly well. So that's where we had left off. Like Trip and Malcolm are trapped inside the Romulan drone. It starts maneuvering around like crazy, throwing them around like stuntman Mike in Grindhouse. And it's actually pretty cool. There's good jeopardy. They're in their spacesuits. They have a problem where they lose some oxygen. They managed to hook up with that last week. So coming into this, it was an exciting story, part 1. And then part 2, like this is a different kind of part 2 than, is it called Cold Station 12? That just, it didn't have as much stakes.
Cold
Like
Store 12, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Cold Storage 12, whatever. Like Borderlands is good. Cold Station 12 isn't so good, and the Augments is really good. So in this one, it seems to be there's a case to be made that they're getting better at writing the 3-episode arcs. If they're not better at it yet, there's a case to be made that they're pushing the envelope with an acceptable limits to try to test where they can go with it. They're trying. There's experimenting going on, and it's not wild or irresponsible in the storytelling. What do you guys think of that?
I always tell her that, but she disagrees.
Yeah, it's a little outlandish in some ways, but TOS always like would put Spock and Kirk in some situation, or all three of them. There's so many examples, and I think it kind of leads to what we see in TNG, where the captain is just pretty much not allowed to go on away missions anymore. It's of the similar vein. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay.
JT, I heard storage, so I missed the joke.
It's okay.
You had a better one. Cold Sore 12. Yeah.
I thought you said storage as well.
Yeah,
Cold sore 12. That's a new medication, right?
we're all
It's
we're
like
all
Valtrex
learning
Light.
Yes.
prep. I'm
Uh-oh.
still not exactly sure what prep is for, but it sounds like it's pretty embarrassing.
It's I'll tell you when you're older.
Space herpes.
No, worse.
Keeps you from getting the wicked HIV.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's like give preventative. Oh, I've seen those commercials. The lady, who's like, I can have sex with anyone I want. And I'm like, well, you were born a woman. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you can. A lot of guys just will throw the standards out the window or find a guy who's been married for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you can pretty much have sex within reason with any guy you want. And then she's like, because I'm undetectable. And I'm like, no, you're kind of heavy. What are you talking about? And she's like, my HIV can't be spread. And I'm like, I still would prefer you told me about that, lady. I don't trust you. It's like I have like pills that are supposed to like grow back my hair. And if I remembered to take them more often, I'd have even more. But like my compliance level is like 5 days a week on my best week. So like I trust her. Especially this commercial. It's like, it's no big deal. I mean, but I digest. So we had a terrible episode of New Trek last week, and we're still trying to decompress. But we got Trip and Malcolm trapped on the Romulan drone, and the trade off is there. These are the worst two people if you're the Romulans to have on your drone.
Indeed.
What did you guys think of the set of the drone? The excuse of why there's life support so large? It's like, I thought that the drone plot device was a really good one. I thought the drone was a fantastic idea. I think it fell apart just a little bit in flight. Forgive the analogy, but you know what? It holds up to analysis, but not scrutiny, if that makes sense. It's like, yeah, okay, this makes sense. The Romulans would have like similar tech, and yeah, it makes sense that this is the sort of underhanded shit the Romulans would do, and yeah, it's not that much of a lore breaker. And in fact, the canonical episode issues are minimal. Season 4 generally aims to respect and build on the established lore, so they're looking not to violate it, which I think helps. Anyone?
Yeah. I mean, we're still talking about the drone ship.
Well, that's one of the things that's pushing on the canon, right? Like, when did we make first contact? When did we know there were Romulans, whether or not we knew what they looked like? What was the first thing they did? And what we find out is the Romulans are dicks so determined to keeping people at each other's throats that they're going to eventually create the Federation. They are the causal event for the Federation is the Romulans. And
that makes sense.
It makes sense, but it's also kind of like really, it's like a poetry. It comes back to you. You know what I mean? Like, there's something really cool about that. I guess what I'm trying to say is there was a lot of respect for the previous show, more so than we see in future stuff. And I think that they were willing to take certain story hits, and these people now aren't willing to take any story hits to the point of retroactively editing their old episodes. I watched Ghosts of Illyria again. It was painful. They cut the parts out with the super strength, as far as I could tell. I kept scanning and looking for them. I couldn't find them. So now that is canonically matched up with what they say in Ad Aspera in the next season, where they're like, she's the best ever, and she never got augmentations. Meanwhile, the season before, she punches down a wall. So, this is the opposite. So it was also brand new, and I'm going to say it might have been like a refreshing new direction for Star Trek. It was a worth exploring direction. And to prove that, I would say there aren't, like, every story from this method is not failed. Some of them are really, some of them really soar. So I just like to throw it, jump
Like
ball.
cold sore?
Yeah.
Yes, cold sore. So jump gonads to my panel here. Shoot this one around the horn or whatever you want to call it. But I want your thoughts on, do you think that this episode took any hits to keep the lore as intact as they could? Was it trying to have it both ways at the expense of the future lore? Because I'm going to give you my honesty is the only thing I felt was really standout was how fast they accelerated the trust getting together for them. The trust was accelerated pretty fast. They overcame it wasn't New Trek levels of disdain. It was like 80 to 100 years. It wasn't like the stuff they say in New Trek, for 750,000 million years, they've been fighting each other till the last ones. And they've been continuing it for the next 8,000 years till they cloned themselves and started it again like Resident Evil 6.
I guess I'll go. I don't think that they broke any lore or anything. They're always pretty careful about not violating lore. There's a few things. I mean, yeah, they do accelerate a few things. But I can see this alliance forming quickly if once they all realize, okay, this was probably the Romulans, or there is someone out to get all of us. I mean, self-preservation would kick in, and you would at least form a temporary alliance. And who knows what was in plan for season 5, what we were going to see. It could have been a come and go alliance, but they weren't necessarily
a gas station
with
alliance.
everybody.
A gas station alliance.
Yeah, exactly. But no, not any lore breaking, because they never, TOS never really told us when the Federation became aware, or Starfleet became aware of the Romulans. They just kind of said when the war happened. So
I think it played pretty well into keeping continuity, because we saw the Red Angel, and the Red Angel made sure that the Romulans didn't go too far. So that way, eventually, you'd get to the point where, because they didn't go too far and their planet blowed up, and then they had to go, hang out with the Vulcans. So, I mean, that's how you get Nivar. And then, of course, that repercussion meant that they didn't have the drives they needed when the burn happened. So, yeah, I mean, it totally keeps it all straight.
I would say my research said the most common minor points raised include the early depiction of the multi-species alliance, including the joint fleet operations, gets presented as the first cooperative endeavor among these 4 species, which aligns with the Federation history in 2161, but compresses the timeline of trust building somewhat. It's like earlier episodes like Ceasefire showed more limited mediation, but nothing contradicts that, right?
Part of the issue is they already knew they were canceled at this point, and they purposely slow walked any of that stuff the other 3 seasons because they didn't want to write themselves into TOS too quickly.
And we know their producer had the idea, one day this will come back like all Star Trek comes back. And turns out he wasn't totally wrong. He has a shot still to pull this off. I think Mike Sussman has the highest chance of anyone of being the new Star Trek showrunner if that happens. I don't think it matters if they do United. I think that he's now distinguished himself as he has the bona fides, the desire, and the heart to do this one. He's the Cindy arc guy. Manny Koto is more this season. But Sussman's doing a lot of writing, as we saw, and he saved a couple of episode 2s from possibly being worse. But
and he's had 21 years now, looking back to
right
changes, and like you've pointed out a couple of times, is he's very good with writing what would have been successful on a streaming show. So if it ends up being a streaming show.
Xindi arc.
Do you think
season give him good chops for that?
Like a Sussman-MacFarlane duo would be able to do a good job?
I don't want Seth MacFarlane near this because of the sometimes woke stuff that comes out of him. We can't do anything woke. We can't do anything woke or bring in Seth until we get 3 years into stability. Then I welcome him, honestly. Then I would welcome him with open arms. We got to be like, sir, we need the safest movies we can get right now. It's just a little bit of a problem.
If they put him in a not a screenwriting role, but more of just a story developing, then he could contribute. As long as he's not writing lines.
He could be one of the 12 producers, because they're going to find redundancies with half of them, right? So we'll go from 24 down to 12. You get twice as good of Star Trek just from that alone.
Yeah.
I could see him having a role with Sussman still at the helm and just rejecting MacFarlane when he goes too woke. and I think it would work. Look, I think if they had a frank conversation with him and said, this is the last chance we have for this, we can't go off on, some damn fool idealistic crusade. I
But
think
would
I think he
McFarlane's
could
ego
act right.
let him? Is McFarlane's ego solid enough to take a more
Maybe.
I think role where he's not in charge?
I think like Quentin Tarantino for Star Trek, he might have a different standard. We've seen that people have a different standard, and we've seen he has an affection for the old Star Trek. You know what? Split the baby. Say, Seth, we want the best Star Trek. We don't want any divisive stuff. We want your, input, and we love what you do. So here's what we're thinking. We're going to run a couple of scripts by you as far as we'd love your dialogue input. And this way, like Seth MacFarlane would see the scripts and stories that they kind of were doing and writing. And he, by osmosis, and Star Trek fandom, would start to think a little more along those lines because he is gifted enough. And then I think what you do is you say to him, in season 1, we want to run some scripts by you for dialogue. We'd also love to have you on as like a powerful alien. We think it'd be fun. Would you like to be a Romulan? Would you like to be what's a funnier alien for him? He would be a perfect Tellarite, or like, how about a Pac-Lad who talks like Peter Griffin? We can have fun. Well, here's the thing. Star Trek's supposed to be fun. If we do a regular series with 26 episodes, that's not even a problem. It's only a problem in a 10-episode season.
Well, they got to be careful, though, because if they're going to go with fun, they're going to have to earn it. We need a season of pretty much serious Star Trek. We can't have...
Yeah, that's why I stipulated 26 episodes. If you were going to go 26 episodes, like episode 8 could just be fun. You know what I mean? And then you could get back to the seriousness. You'd have one delegation.
As long as they have a redheaded doctor, I think it'll be okay.
What if they hire Ed Sheeran and he uses like Patch Adams, like musical therapy?
No.
Because that's what I'm expecting on the next Starfleet Academy.
With the theremin alone, with only the theremin, though.
And by the way, I want to tell the crew that I've been looking in the suggestion box. Guys, you're going to want to stick with us after Enterprise ends. We'll have Welchie back to talk a little Star Trek. And then we're all going to Deep Space Nine, where we're going to go to the strip club and hit the Hollow Suites. And I think we're going to celebrate Star Trek a little more extensively while we look back on Enterprise. And then we'll jump into TOS. Boldly going where so many pundits have gone before. And we're going to have to find a way to make it unique. We've been working on that one, and I think we're there. So, as we deal with what's going on the drone, there's increasing jeopardy to Reed and to Trip, and it works much better than if we had sent Mayweather over there. I think everyone is just so relieved that Prideweather has found a role in this show where he can say 1 to 2 lines to Hoshi believably. I can read. I was like, wow, he convinced me, because like last season, if he said that, I'd be like, no, you can't.
You mean Reed can read?
No, Prideweather. When Prideweather's role in this episode was simply to sit around and read. Prideweather and Hoshi go over the rules of acquisition.
Oh yeah,
the rules of chivalrous Andorian combat. What do we call it? Andorian chivalric combat. It's pretty cool though. Last week Shran lost his ship, and he's pretty pissed off. And he also lost 70 of 85 or so crew, so he is not in the good mood. And then at the end of the episode, he made a move on the Tellarites that was kind of a punk move. It got his girlfriend shot, so it's a little bit on him. He should have trusted Archer, but she was, full on. She was an Andorian guardsman, Imperial Guard, who was trained from childhood to fight and stuff. She was down for aggression, and it was Narg, the assistant to the Tellarite ambassador.
Incoming super chat.
What happened? And hey, we got a $1.49 super sticker from my friend JT Kirk. That is outstanding, sir. It's a unicorn. It's a unicorn.
Cartercorn.
No,
I
heard that the unicorn is going to be on the flag of the nation of Alberta.
Oh.
I've heard a brilliant plan for them to get around the tariffs. Listen to this one. So someone was proposing this. They have some schematics, a German V2 rocket that can go up into the lower atmosphere and then bring the oil down one warhead at a time to America, where we can then centrifuge the sand out of it. And they stand to make $8 or $9 off the transaction by the time it's all done.
Oh, wow.
Per barrel. Yeah. So we're going to have $8 a barrel oil. And I guess this year we'll get our tariff check. If they just can't be the shark fin of America, we don't need any part of them. You know, they haven't, I would just point out, where's the ambition? I didn't get a counter proposal, JT. I didn't get a counter proposal that they do something like the conning tower of America, but I see we have yet another
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
Where Krimwan has put up the rainbow. Okay, so we have the rainbow and the unicorn. I'm trying to think of a song like "What Do You Sing" that symbolizes like intersectional rainbow unicorn, like we all want somebody to love, we'll compromise for someone to love, yeah, we all need somebody
Admiral
to love.
Teague, incoming super chat.
They them. Hey, and it's a hot dog. You know what? There are some people who do like to dress up as food to have sex. That's their thing. They're foodies, not furries, I guess. But you know what? Thanks for the hot dog, and I appreciate the super stickers from all of you guys. It's you know what? Let me put my dress uniform back on. I feel like a pig. You know, I had it on for a moment. I took it off because the ship's political officer slipped on tea when he was trying to tell me, when I was pretending I was going to follow the marching orders about how to fall in line with the other critics. You know, is it time for me to register with
Admiral Teague,
IMDb
incoming
so
super chat.
All right. Krimwan.
I'd like to request somebody to have an eggplant super chat, please.
We've got yet another unicorn, and yet you know what? The eggplant is a great one. The unicorn is hilarious. I don't know what to say. Like, how do you honor the unicorn? Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Someday we'll find it. The rainbow connections, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Oh, Kermit the Frog here.
I gotta say, most of your impressions are pretty good, but that's a pretty sorry Kermit. And I guess
it's my dress.
That is a horrible Kermit.
I'll get a voice filter, or I'll make Sonos do Kermit. I heard that we might have Muppet Connected Entertainment tonight. Is that still happening?
Oh, no, I didn't get a video done, but I could play the song if you'd wanted to. Or should we wait till maybe Thursday's better because it's
full effect would be better, guys. We beat Star Trek to this one on Thursday. Don't miss the Admiral Teague puppet show, and maybe we'll have some of the other cast members in it too. But so far, like the Teague puppet is semi-functional, and like we phase it every few hours because we don't want it to become self-aware.
Oh, I can show the thing, the later thing I sent you. Let me see.
Oh yeah, show that. Show people the Teague puppet, the Teague Muppet. We don't get these from Henson's Creature Workshop. Yeah, we should. I have fun with the exchange of text messages during the day.
Okay,
that's how I found out that there was stuff. That's how I found out that there was stuff going on in the world.
Let me see here.
I get most of my news when I do Germ Show and people and Gorilla and him tell me what happened.
So now that we have more than one unicorn super sticker, that means we have to have a race at the end of the show.
No, we can't do that.
I can't. Yeah, we already stole I think Sean Cock was probably pushing the envelope as far as we could possibly go. As Krimwan,
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
$99 super sticker with a behind the scenes clapboard.
Oh wait, there's
a rainbow clapboard.
It is a rainbow clapboard.
And it's behind. Did you get the peach? He sent the peach one as well.
Let me highlight the peach. You can't tell here, Maybe I can do something about that. Maybe I can pop
Rocco.
Okay, my favorite race is the Guardians.
Oh wait, wrong one. Where's the controversial one?
That's with the music rather than the sound effects. It's down towards the way bottom.
Well, we'll just say it's so controversial, sir.
All right, like I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna train my crew. You see sounds, Sean, on the soundboard. You see where it says sounds when you open that one up, and it has like 7 or 8 things. I'm trying to slowly migrate them, but then underneath that is background music. I figured out an early hack was any MP3 would play. So the bottom row on the right of sounds is the Trump sounds.
It doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
You know what? I'm going to talk about this for as long as I want, Mr. President, sir. I'm sorry, sir. All right.
Okay.
Patton
I've got
has
the thing ready.
word.
I've got the thing ready, but I think
I look like Jackson. I look like a thin Jackson Roykirk too.
Yeah, there. So here, I think we should mute. It'll echo. There you go. Mute up. It's only like 5 seconds.
Yo, check it, I'm spitting fire on the street. My rhymes are fresh, can't be beat. Gonna rap all day, yeah, feel the heat. Yo, check it, I'm spitting fire.
There it is. So yeah, that's a little preview, everybody. What's that, Jerm?
That looks like NMM if he never made it out of the trailer park.
Yeah, what can I say? My Muppet has some terrible avatars. Crimon is now crapping all over us. I think I can show it to you on. I can share the screen and show this one to you. I'm trusting you, Crimon. You're what's missing. Oh, he's pooping all over us, sirs and madams. It's a little bit gross, but you know what? I accept it. Thank you so much, Crimon. I don't know. What can we say that's shit? In this episode of Star Trek, we don't have it. It's not shit. So I guess we could do a little bit of just video. Like, let's give some patent video.
I
for
heard
Crimon.
that Tellarites frequently throw shit out all over the place.
You know what? This one's for the audience.
That's what they do.
Here's for everyone who suffered through New Trek with us. I think it's puppet themed. Let's see. That's new, guys. What do you think? I like how Carol Marcus's scream at the end just has emphasis. Jerm, go ahead.
If you can get the puppet to phaser himself, that would be something.
That would.
Oh yeah, I think Grok could handle that. You know what we need? We need a montage of like Terrell doing what he did, Kirk rolling around. You know, just montage of characters in agony.
I actually I started putting that together. Believe it or not, that is something that I've been working on.
You got to put the guy from Where Silence Has Lease, the breakdancing guy at the helm of the Enterprise D, when he does the quiver. You know what I'm talking about?
So
in the I think it's season 1 of TNG when they meet Nagilum.
Oh yes,
he causes that helmsman to like just convulse, and you got to put that in there.
That is the best brain implosion in Star Trek history.
Man, look at this, man! Kremlin's on fire tonight.
Mr. Angel has a great
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
Kremlin with shit and hot dogs, rainbows, and bananas.
Oh man!
You know what? I don't know. Like, what do you do for a banana? You know? I'm waiting.
Well, you can do certain things, but then the left wing tends to complain that it's racist.
I think what we can do is we can play the new Trek producer song, and thanks to Crimon. This one's brought to you by Crimon.
Gather round, young cadets, for a tale so zany. In Starfleet Academy, producers are many. They craft the adventures with a gleam in their eye. But with this bigger crew, it's a hilarious surprise. There's Alex and Noga and Gaia so bright. Aaron and Kirsten making pronouns just right. Norman and John and Robin with flair. Kenneth and Jenny, a friend to blue hair.
Oh, producers aplenty, a galactic mob. 24 bosses, what a full-time job. They beam up ideas with diversity spread. Starfleet's got more chiefs than stars overhead.
There's Jane and Tawny and Olatin too. Michelle and Gersha, what a busy crew. Ethan and Rod and Trevor in line. Sarah and Frank make inclusion shine.
Oh, producers aplenty, a galactic mob. 24 bosses, what a full-time job. They beam up ideas with diversity spread. Starfleet's got more chiefs than stars overhead.
There's Alex again.
Wait, that's Todd this time.
John and Dana keeping up the rhyme. Jason's the last, but wait, that's 24. How do they all fit through the shuttle door?
So ends our song of the producer parade, with DEI aplenty and everything gay. But next time you watch, just count them all.
Kurtzman's team is the biggest of all.
The Kurtzman producer song, courtesy of Sean, and I have a little new video too. I have something new for you guys too. I hope you'll like this one. Here we go. Ooh, it didn't quite work. That one didn't want to work. It's still forming on the screen. Do you guys see it?
No.
We don't see anything.
I see it slow. I see the slow wheel of death. Wow, StreamYards is just. Maybe if I remove one thing. There we go. What do you think of that one? This is like
Terrell one we just saw, right?
Right. No, did you see watch this one? Well, Terrell's in both.
Oh, it's really glitchy.
Is it glitchy? Oh well.
I saw it as glitchy, but the screams are so hard to deal with. You know what's funny? That producer parade song. The sad thing is, it's kind of catchy.
It's very catchy. I thought you got what you paid for with that Sonos or whatever it was. It's
great. Is very catchy. It's on a loop with all the Barney songs in hell right now.
It is kind of catchy in that way, but it's funny. And Mr. Angel, you forgive us, right? Rocco, is it okay, guys? Wallace, you'll let me get away with it. Hello, Wallace. And okay, you know what? It's been fun, but like advancing the plot. Archer, on the Enterprise, Captain Archer deals the fallout from the prior Babel 1 incident. Talis, Shran's girlfriend, and I believe she was his first officer, dies from wounds inflicted by the Tellarite Narg, prompting Commander Shran to challenge Narg's traditional Andorian Ushan duel to the death. I thought it was pretty cool, but I thought it was weird and gross that it was cool that they had the tradition of bringing the blood of the fallen Andorians to pour onto the ice of Andoria. Like that was sounded like a badass warrior ceremony. But instead, Shran pours it all over the hands of the guy that he blames for this. And he's like, I'm going to slice your assistant into tiny little pieces.
Well, he couldn't get to a famous work of art, so he had to settle for the Tellarite.
It's like, I had this can of tomato paste for your Tellarite Leonardo da Vinci's picture called, Andorians in Pain. And this is a 99-cent super sticker. Krimon, thank you. I don't know if I have any more video right now. I'll have more on Tuesday. I'll have 1 minute, I promise. And JT Kirk with yet another $1.99 super sticker.
Oh, what?
There's a lot of participation here.
I love that one.
Sir. I can't thank you guys enough. It's a fun night. It's a generous night. You guys are fantastic. And you know what? In honor of advancing the plot, guys, what did you think of the beginning of the conflict between Shran and let's see if it works this time. One more try. No? We'll find out. What are you gonna do? That's new Trek for you. I'll find out. You know what? I'll find a way to fix it.
Grimlon again.
Whoa! Let me get over to the tactical station there. I'll fire Sean. Don't worry. Stand back. I got this one.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
Sir, Krimlon with a $1.99 super sticker with. Let's see. What do we have on this $1.99 super sticker? We could get the. Let's bring back your chats via the share screen, and we'll take a look at that gorgeous super sticker. We love them all. It is the spoiler alert. Okay, yeah, spoiler. Yeah, you've only had 23 years. We feel a little bad. And wow, opinions divided a little bit between A and B more than usual. A lot more people usually are in A territory on this one. And it's surprising that B is so well represented. And some people just really don't like this show. What can I tell you? We're almost done with it. We only have, I believe, after this 7 episodes left. But we thank you all. Sound is fine. Video is glitchy. That's on me. The video of the this video is probably okay. That video is probably terrible, but the videos that I preloaded, I know which videos are working and which isn't. It's like there's 2 different ways to share a video, and one of them just ain't working. So we got 19 votes already. There's pretty scientific, we can start to forecast this, but it looks like. A could have a chance to really be dominant, but the strong representation by B just shows that, the diversity of letters is very important. And Krimlon with $1.99 super sticker. Yet again, thank you, sir. Which one? We have the comments up there. I think I could take one down. Go away, comments. Jeez, my toggles. There we go. Wait for it. Okay. Here, okay. At this point, Krimlon, sir, with another generous $1.99 super sticker, and no one wants to hear me sing Rainbow Connection. So, what can I say? Maybe I'll try a different song parody. I feel inspired. Let's go. Shran and Talus look pretty good together. The skin is blue and the clothes are made of leather, but Archer's a substitute for a dead man's pride. He may look pretty tough cause it can't be disguised. The 4 great powers feuding every night, but Archer's the one saying, let's unite. Archer's a substitute for a Tellarite. I seem correct because, in fact, I'm right. Archer's a substitute for a Tellarite. He's the one who stepped into the fight. What do you think?
Very good.
Inspiration there.
Yeah, it's much better than what I was expecting. I was expecting somewhere over the rainbow.
No. I figured that I should be prepared and thought about the song substitute a little bit before the show. Anyway.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
We have one super sticker after another. I want to thank Krimlon for a radioactive actual for a very generous $1.99 super sticker. Krimlon for $1.99 super sticker, and radioactive for yet another $1.99 super sticker. At this point, I think that you know what, we deserve some sound. I know our friend Krimlon He was at one point a member of Patton's Third Army. So you know what, Crimlon, let's do this the right way. Let's get all the assets in line to do this one. You know what? You know him, you love him. I mean, what's not to love about this great presence who's kind of been part of our show for sort of a while now. Let's bring it back for a moment, and we can listen to a little bit about the Siege of Carthage. Now, this audio, I'm betting, will be just fine because it's the preloaded audio.
Carthaginians defending the city were attacked by 3 Roman legions. Arab women stripped them of their tunics and their swords and lances. The soldiers lay naked in the sun. 2,000 years ago, I was here. Well, this match will not be postponed.
There you go, Cribble. That's for you. And then we also have more super stickers coming in. Radioactive. You know what? You should have gotten an Air Force one. I fucked that one up. Let's see. What can we do for radioactive? Is there any good sound we can have? Here we go.
Stylistically designed to be that way, and you can't undo that, but we can diminish the effects of it.
Yeah, stylistically, I was designed to. I was going to address your super sticker, but I accidentally addressed Crimlon's. Stylistically, it was designed to be that way. I can't undo it, but I can diminish the effects somewhat. And Crimlon with yet another $1 super sticker. I added that one with the song that I had for Radioactive by mistake. I hope you guys will forgive me. And I just got to say thank you so much for the generosity, all of you, as my interface is now just not working again, so I cannot highlight stuff. Anyone else frozen?
I am here.
No, you seem to be
We're all here.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm having nothing but problems. Let's see. Although, like I say, a lot of them seem to be in StreamYard and Fire. There we go. By making the.
Did you say melting butt problems?
No, but maybe.
It sounded like you said I have melting butt problems.
Yeah, my denture slipped out. It was a paraphasia. What do you call it? Isn't that what they're called? So.
I think it's called the paraphasia.
We've set up
buddy, don't give him ideas.
Growth. Something with the proof in it.
It's raining Shran. I can sing, but I just can't sing like Kermit the Frog. What can I tell you? Tony can do that stuff. We're different. Yeah, better than the Walmart internet. What's fucked up is I looked today, my internet bill was due. I called, I paid, and inside of like 1 minute while I was looking at the monitor, it went out. And hey, Rocco the Brave.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
As a man once said, it's not the truth that matters, but victory. And we will be victorious in saying Star Trek. I felt left out, so gave one too. Rocco, thank you very much, and thank you for your inspiring words. You know what? It's a dark hour for the franchise, and we can have a lot of fun and remember how great Star Trek can be with a creator who's still out there and active and arguably more experienced than ever. The show that he does with Kodo, like, they work for somebody else. I think it's Metallis's main thing, but like, it's a well-regarded show. He's not scraping for work out there. And I don't think he's compromised too much. He avoided all the problems in the Mary Trump interview. I'm very confident that Mike Sussman can write us the kind of Star Trek show that all fans can enjoy. And Rocco, thank you so much. And thank you all, sirs. I thank you all so much. And Ruby, who's not here, but thank you, sirs and madams. It sounds better. It's also exclusionary dialogue. Okay, please don't report me for saying hello, sirs and madams. How do you even say it? Hello, sirs and madams? And like Data says it in Star Trek Insurrection, and I don't think I could get away with even saying that on YouTube. And I think they say it in one episode of Deep Space Nine, various transgendered species.
Yeah, that's okay.
I guess so. On Enterprise, Archer's deal with the fallout from the Babel 1 incident, and when Talos dies, that's when Fran really loses it, and he wants to challenge Narg to an honor fight. Narg is... Listen, here's the thing that I think the episode doesn't really address, and Archer could have said something like this and just had it be a little more clear. There were a few little dialogue wreck-ups in this episode. One of them I wrote down was, he tells Talis she was grazed. Is he trying to make her feel better? I remember her getting hit right between the boobs.
Yeah, he was just trying to make her calm.
That makes sense. That we'll get to some of it, but that was one of my notes. So Archer has Hoshi and Travis at work on this one, and what they're hacking that one is, there is, just like the Klingon Rite of Ascension and the Shellyak corporate contract, they find a loophole in the way the combat goes down, because I guess the implication would be this was an extremely chivalric code of combat. So I'm going to go with JT. What do you think on this one? Did JT step away, or are you just muted?
Did he go away?
Oh,
he's back. He says he's back.
I'm here.
Okay, I hear you now. Were you muted, perhaps?
I didn't hear most of what you said.
Oh, weird. I think the audience is hearing it, though. I can review that kind of right now. It's weird.
Yeah.
We are, you know what, technical things, like, I think what we're finding out is the glitches aren't confined to me. It's just like there are also floating glitches.
Could be.
Sean, what was the question?
Anyway,
what did you think of the chivalrous nature of the combat? Did I interpret that correctly, Admiral?
Oh, maybe I don't have a popular opinion on this. I really was not a fan of the combat. I thought it was kind of a waste of time. But that's just me.
Yeah,
I didn't really dig it. I thought it was weak, and it didn't really play into much. I know they were kind of going for the Klingon Batleth fight kind of a thing, maybe a little bit. It just didn't seem that in. It didn't seem really in place with Andorians the way we've seen them up until that point. Then,
well, they needed something for Shran to get rid of his anger and to be able to move on.
And he had to avenge his ship. They really wanted to make him seem like he was an Andorian Kirk.
Yeah,
I've lost my ship and my crew. Like, that's what Decker says. That's what Kirk says. You know what I mean? They did a great job with that.
They could have always fought with giant Q-tips. That's always a crowd pleaser.
I liked it that we had almost the same like gauntlets that we had from Code of Honor.
Yeah. It was a similar fight as in the Omega Glory too, where they're tied together.
Yes. And what I like about the gauntlet from the Code of Honor is that because of the controversy that's all fake about how that episode is arfacist, I think we can say that that gauntlet's now been used to beat people black and blue. Anyway, there is a really cool fight between Archer and Shran. And Shran's like, I don't want to kill you, but I will pour your blood onto the wall of the ice wall of heroes back down on Andoria. And Archer's like, fuck this shit. I'm going to win this fight. And like, it's a little bit confusing to Shran, but we get a decent enough. Action is free. We get, it doesn't cost much more than regular TV, and people like action. Good fight between Shran and Archer. Archer, like, I love, like, as Jerm said, Phlox would have made a good corner man. I like the sequence right before he fights, and Hoshi's like, use the weapon like this, this, and this. And then, like, Phlox is like, Andorians are a little bit slower. You can wear them out. And then, like, the other advice is like, how about I just win? Yeah, I love that very human moment.
That was that was a very kind of Clint Eastwoody type of a line.
It's the kind of confidence we got from Kirk. Picard would have been like, no, I understand your differences, Andorians, and, Tellarites have not gotten along for some time. Now what I've done is I've assembled a Blue Ribbon Committee of Federation examiners. They're going to pass their recommendations along to a steering committee. Then a final report will be given to the Federation Commissioner no later than 2 years from this star date. Then the 15-year debate process begins, and we can address the drought and hunger on your planet now. but that seemed to be the way it went with Picard. You know, like, and Archer was just like, I'll jack that freighter and beat the shit out of the captain and give you the food and figure it out later. We'll fix this first. Whereas Picard was just a little bit, at this point, looking stodgy. Sir, madam, hungry homicidal alien on a food frenzy rampage. What in the name I say? Now stop running. Mr. Angel, you catch that alien. So we have a pretty good duel. Guys, thoughts on the duel? Like you said, it was like beat it. They had like some steel wire holding them together, and the weapon of choice, it's very cool, is ice miner blades that Andorian children play with. And there's actually a cool confrontation, like verbal confrontation between Shran and Archer, where Archer walks in smug and he's like, you're not going to get to fight the ambassador, Narg. And he's like, the ambassador agreed to fight in his place. He's like, no, I'm the substitute. And Shran's like, you wouldn't do that to me. And it was like, he was angry. He's like, I will be allowed to fulfill my destiny. You know,
very patent. He's very patent there.
Yeah, he really was.
Permit this to happen. I am going to be allowed to fulfill my destiny.
It's exactly what it was.
It was cool. He was Andorian patent. So they go in there, they mix it up with these ice knives. They're super cool, by the way. I'll get you a picture of that. It's good that we stepped away from the video because we're like close to the middle of the episode now, and we've done it in record time because we're not using the video to sort of steer us. But I will show everybody just real quick. This is our enemy ship of the week. This is our Romulan ship. It's pretty cool. It doesn't look too much like the tech the Romulans had, but
there we go. We finally see it. Okay. It
does look like it was designed. What it was designed. Well, it took me a minute to pull it. I was actually on top of that one, but thanks for reminding me anyway. I actually was teching that through every moment of the way.
It's got a cool look. It does look Romulanish. It kind of looks like the Daredex class warbird. Like maybe
looks a little like the bridge.
Yeah, like the head of it. It's pretty well done.
It looks like a fish to me. Doesn't it?
Yeah, kind
with
of.
an open mouth. With
Kinda
an
like
open
a
mouth.
puffer fish.
Yeah.
Flying fish.
I would agree.
Flying fish are cool, by the way. I've seen them.
One of the coolest things was I loved the writing that they still had a lot of disagreement between Shran and the Tellarite ambassador, and they have Archer there just yelling at him, and the line that was I'd rather sleep with Targs than
Klingon Targs than a Tellarite pig.
And he said your mating habits are no concern of mine.
The exact wrong thing to say to a guy whose girlfriend your buddy just killed.
Right. Yeah.
So just to let you know, in our first exciting act that unites these episodes in Star Trek United, Trip and Reed trapped on this ship. Reed's blowing shit up left and right. Trip is tearing out wires, isolinear chips, and all the other Star Trek kind of stuff that we've seen before, but he doesn't know what these isolinear chips are. I don't know if you need technical ability to do sabotage on this. All his abilities do is he's like, Malcolm, look at that monitor. And then he starts like ripping stuff out. He's like, any lights go out on it? It's like, so like technical skill, not as important as like, he just sort of had like an analytical outlook from all his engineering to be able to like, well, this seems to be the readout screen. Let me go just mess shit up. Meanwhile, Malcolm blew a bunch of stuff up with his phase pistol earlier. And the Romulans are, becoming concerned, and they sort of have a cool back and forth between Trip, Malcolm, and the Romulan admirals who are dicks. And also, like, the Romulans are having a little bit of trouble with someone walking in saying, I heard your experiment isn't going so well. So now there's people kind of getting ready to look over their shoulder, and they're getting second guessed back on Romulus, where we know the remote control of this drone ship is coming from. So they basically blackmail Reed. And here's the main Romulan. I thought this guy had a great look for this. He looks brutal, and he kind of looks like a Romulan, like caveman, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I thought he was kind of a weird looking chap.
He was a weird looking guy. He was physically imposing through size. I thought that was maybe like he filmed like a big, just threatening guy. I guess. I don't know. He had a great voice. He had a great.
Yeah, he's done a lot of great roles before. He was Shao Kahn in that bad Mortal Kombat 2 movie.
Oh, was he? Oh. He has an enormous fucking chin. Hey,
Mortal Kombat 1, of course, a classic. Go ahead.
I wanted to go back to the battle that they had. Wouldn't it have been funny if when Shran challenged the Tellarite and instead the Tellarite goes, well, I'll battle you, but then you have to honor our tradition. And Shran says, what's that? And he goes, we tell your mama insults until someone faints.
The loser has to transition genders.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, but the Tellarites would just insult each other. They'd like have the Yo Mama battles.
Now,
and he'd say, Yo Mama's so fat, she make Tilly look skinny.
Speaking of Tilly, this guy may have a chin, but it's still smaller than Tilly's chins.
Yeah.
That's one of the cutscenes from the episode Stormfront where we lose. Is it Stormfront where we lose Silic? In the episode where we see Silic for the last time, one of the cutscenes I think was he was like, Archer, we've become friends now. I think I should show you some images on my cell phone. What is this? It looks like upstate New York. Yes. After our first encounter, you really pissed me off, and I went back in time and fucked your mama. What? Yeah. Fucked her right in her, right in the stink hole. I was pretty mean about it too. No Grease. You know what? Your dad likes sticking his dick in crazy. She screamed like a banshee. It's like, you mother. That would have been great. If I was a time traveling villain, I would do that. I'd do that to my enemies. That was like a meme on X today. And I was thinking on it. It's like that isn't the worst idea. So basically, Trip and Malcolm disobeys Trip's orders by turning the power back on in the drone so that it could start its self-repair. This was another note. All right, so we have to have self-repair. Does it have to fix all the damage they did in hours? Couldn't they say it'll be weeks before the drone's back online? Because, we have a space story where the Enterprise, this drone attack, have it take out the impulse engine. The warp engine. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, the warp engine would have taken weeks. That's why they had Reed reinitialize it.
Well, I meant have it attack and take out the NX's warp engine. You know what I mean? So that they can say, the withdrawal will take weeks. It changes the episode nothing except for a few lines of dialogue, Archer. Like, in the extra time we've had, the Tellarites and Andorians have made amazing progress, or something like that. If we had loosened up the time constraints of the episode just a little, but we had all that urgency with an Earth fleet that couldn't get there in time. It's just that the Earth fleet's lead time is so long, it's like months and months, that if their time frame had been, the Tellarites are weeks and weeks away, and we could have our armada of united Tellarites and Andorians in just a few days, that would have been fine. At any rate, they negotiate. They have a bunch of nasty back and forth talk with Trip, and Malcolm agrees to do what they want. And eventually Trip and Reed escape from this thing. Everybody loves Jeffrey Combs, so let me get an image of him. Let's see if I can't find it. When he does the acting where he finds out that Talos has died, he's like, it's really pretty cool. He gives us a lot of emotion. But the one thing I would say is the creative decision that the Andorians would also weep. What did anybody think of that?
That's fine.
What makes more sense than like having them make some strange noise and having the crew members go, "Oh yeah, that's how they cry."
Yeah, like they wheeze through their antennae and like little screaming sounds come out of them.
You see the antennae start like, yeah, or if this was modern Star Trek, they would just start farting. We had like 4 minutes of failed fart jokes in one episode of that. But I like that she's getting her like electrolytes, not giving her water like from the toilet.
Oh, do we have a what do you call it? Paper towel update on this one?
The paper towels, I think, for the second straight. What happened was there was a lot of labor.
They're quite subdued this week around.
I believe what happened was the paper towel was on strike, holding out for more money. It's like, I'm in the 4th season. I've brought verisimilitude to this show. I've been there acting in the background through all these episodes. I demand. I just don't. I'm not asking for a pay raise. I demand it. But I gave you a couple of seconds of Jeffrey Combs. Very emotional here. Very effective. Look at that. I mean, just masterful. He's played so many different aliens. Did anyone feel like they were watching Wei-Yun? I sure didn't.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Range.
Yeah.
Jerm, you've watched more Deep Space Nine than anyone else. What did you think? Is it the difference between this character and Wei-Yun and his delivery here than as Wei-Yun? The voice, everything is totally different.
Yeah, it's a complete 180 from Wei-Yun. It's much better than he did as Wei-Yun.
So this is our duel episode, and becomes intense. There's a conversation with the Tellurite ambassador. We're talking about how this ain't cool. Now, we just ignore the fact, and this is not a big deal. These are the kind of earned omissions that we don't mind in this show. We sort of ignore the fact the guy who did this is in the brig. Like, this is what I meant by some dialogue coming up short. Now, the pacing on this is really good, so maybe that's the expense. So, like, we don't really need that line, but how about, like, does anyone else think that Archer might have been something like, the man's in my brig and he'll face trial for what he did on Andoria. He'll face your laws for what he did, or he'll face Federation law for what he did. He's going to a Federation penal colony for 20 years, or a Starfleet prison at this point. That kind of needed to be in there. Anybody?
I just got back.
I would say that it would be fair. He'll be able to tell Shran, like, yeah, he'll be on an island, a very small island in a prison in San Francisco Bay.
He'll have to join. He'll have to join Jaden on his island vacation with his.
And he'll have to learn how to escape the rock.
I don't remember the exact phrasing of my question. I was saying, what we talked about the emotional acting of Jeffrey Coombe and like how it did not feel like Wei-Yun at all, huh? You might have been here for that one.
Well, when we were talking about the crying,
yeah, I did. I said
I could see him crying. I mean, he's a passionate dude.
Not only that, but the Andorians are so near human. There's not huge differences. They're very much hominid based. I don't know what else to say.
How dare you compare Andorians to pinkskins?
How dare you insult Hoshi like that? But I think I'm behind again. Did I get a few more super stickers?
Well, she has some skin that's pink.
Oh, sir.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go from there.
Yeah. I'm gonna just walk away from that one.
Talking about her inner eyelids, you guys. Come on.
My favorite way
inner something.
Yeah.
My favorite Wei-Yun is the one who thinks he's from Queens. He's like, yo, I got the space crack generator. You Jemadar are going to listen to everything I say. And they're like, yeah, put it down over there. And as soon as he puts it down, they just blow him away. I'll always reference that as peak Wei-Yun. Yeah, arrogance and stupidity just mixing together in that particular version of Wei-Yun.
Which
one
version?
where the Jemadar are trapped on a planet. He comes down and offers to get he wants something from them. They want to stay away from the rest of the Dominion. They want just stay on this planet. They're sort of like versions of the Herosian. And they're just like, we like it here, and like we're done with war, and we just want our catch a cell white generator. And they're like, yeah, sure, I can get that for you. Just do these few favors for me. And at the end of the episode, he shows up, and it's like of like looks like a replicator. So he's got like a microwave, and it's like this like just dispenses catch a cell white like candy. And like, oh yeah, put it down over there. It's like no problem. So as soon as he puts it down, they fucking phase him out of existence.
Yeah,
isn't that like
Iconian Gateway?
4? Yeah.
Oh, sir. Rocco, sir.
1 or 2. I think that's the first time we see William die.
Was it?
I believe it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the episode with the Iconian Gateway and the Rebel Jemadar. His own first kills him at the end of the mission.
Yeah. But they don't realize that no one's ever really gone in the Dominion. So he comes back.
No one's ever really gone. But it's interwoven well with the escape, which we've covered. Here's some more images. Malcolm and Trip both have issues trying to escape. And back on Romulus, the plot is under scrutiny from their own government. They're debating its effectiveness. They don't know if this is something they want to go forward with. And Trip and Malcolm escape by jumping out the airlock. And we get some cool stuff where they're sort of stranded in space. This is Archer's confrontation with Wayun. I'm sorry, with Shran. And I love the ice knife
sharpening it
with. He did some good acting, and whoever put the special effect in did a great job, because he's just got like, what has he got? Like beauty wedges that they put between women's toes to paint their toenails, right? It's just like he's just got like this weird like triangle that I think is made of styrofoam. They're not going to risk him with a razor sharp prop or anything like that. So he's just like, they're doing some pretty good stage crafting. This looks good. It's not, in my opinion, all that derivative of the batholith. This is essentially, though, a handheld batholith. It's basically a one-handed batholith. It's a batholith-like dagger. It's like a slicing knife.
Well, it's more like a geektach. But
yes,
because if it were a batholith, it would be too low energy. It would be not derivative, but it would be low energy for sure.
You would need to get some Raktajina in there.
Sure.
And Archer and Shran have this conversation where he's just like, well, I guess I'm going to have to kill you. And there's the implement, and we see him sharpening his ice miner's knife. Which
anybody think
cool
he has a passing resemblance to Disparu as an Andorian? Shran.
If Disparu was an Andorian, sure. I think it's the hair.
It's got to be the hair. Yeah.
Disparu gets like 3 haircuts a year. Yeah. He's the best lip syncer, though. I think that what we know is with Disparu, he gets 1 haircut a year that is similar to this, but then by the end of the year, when he gets the next haircut, he kind of looks like he's playing rhythm guitar, like the new rhythm guitar player for like Iron Maiden. Like it's not really long. He's just like it's now down to his shoulders, and he has like really long bangs, and it's just back to this again. So he has
if he was from the South, he'd just have a big mullet.
My favorite is when Disparu has medium length hair. So like sometimes when he's been like really editing like crazy and trying to get the video done, like sometimes he has a little bit of like mad scientist hair, which adds to the delivery. Disparu. The messy hair is my favorite. Like I love the mad scientist hair. It makes the theories hit that much harder. Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Theories hit that much harder when he has the mad scientist hair. The more out of control his hair is, and anything past medium length to the length that you always cut it back at is fine, because it never goes past his like shoulders. It just gets really grown out. I think it's hilarious. It adds to his delivery when he has the mad scientist hair. But back to our episode. Wayun is going to fight Archer. He intends to kill him, and his chances are pretty good. And he's pretty pissed that Archer has done this. But it wasn't about fighting, killing, and winning, according to Shran, when he threw down his dictates. It's, I will have my vengeance. I will fulfill our code of honor, to borrow a phrase that's not unfamiliar to Star Trek fans. And not only that, you will honor our people's ways. So Archer does that like only a human can. He lawyers his way deeply into it. So here we have,
true.
Here we have Hoshi and Travis, and they're trying to figure out something. And it's much like the Sheliak corporate. He does look taller in Enterprise, I agree. I think that because Shran's a military figure and Layun's a diplomat, they try to make the military figures look like they're taller. Like, I've noticed, like, Odo and Archer, not Archer, Cisco, are usually taller than everyone else.
But didn't they give Layun like that 7-inch high like crop cut or something like that at some point? I feel like Layun had a really high hairline.
Yeah, he had the ears and the hair went up like 4 or 5 inches.
Oh yeah.
There's a good comment
Case
here
had a good one
by Mr. Angel.
My thoughts too. But it's more than that. The camera angles are always made Layun small deliberately, giving the impression of a weak, harmless creature. Shran, on the other hand, is made larger than life. Yeah, larger than the life, than the size of the actor who plays him. Jeffrey Coombs only 5'1". I'm just kidding. He's average height. So is Shia LaBeouf, who was saying he had a Napoleonic complex at 5'9". You're taller. If that's true,
yeah, that doesn't really work. That doesn't really work.
He also doesn't have a drinking problem, even though he keeps getting into trouble beating up people while he's drunk.
They do tend to give Jeffrey Combs lifts when he's talking to Bakula.
Well, Bakula, we think might just be pretty darn tall. It might be
I think he
certainly seems to be the tallest person in the cast. He's got a lanky, athletic build, and we've said repeatedly. This is my assertion, and we gotta so say we all. It's a very Harrison Ford-like approach to acting that we hadn't expected, because the way he employs it is different. But the thing is, he's physically always moving. He's got a lot of energy, and I would say this too. Jonathan Archer has an interesting voice and interesting delivery. Not as affectated as we get with Harrison Ford. We walk from here. Like, we don't get stuff like that from Jonathan Archer, but he's like, I'll be the second.
So say we all.
Exactly. Thank you. Perfect. My favorite one is Mirror Archer, where he hyperventilates for like a whole minute. He's like, I'll lead the attack team. It was great. I
like
thought
in the
his performance
hatchery.
In Hatchery, he shows so much range there, and his voice is different too. He really uses voice acting better than any Star Trek captain except for Kirk. Picard has his voice acting, but it's two things. It's actually, there's 3 facets: frustrated Picard, baseline Picard, and pontificating Picard. There's nothing else. Baseline Picard is analytical, thoughtful, and wordy, and is going to put together that blue ribbon committee that will have an answer to today's problem in 14 years.
You forgot O-Face Picard with Bash.
And Base Palm Picard as well.
No, he gets pretty good angry a few times. Yesterday's Enterprise was a good example of that. We don't the first duty when he's angry with when he gets pissed at Wesley.
I wouldn't call it Picard gets as angry. He more gets huffy.
Yeah.
He can't allow himself to get angry. Tapestry showed us that he only allows himself so much anger. But then he goes home and furiously bops the bishop. So he'll be fine. He works it out.
Or when he breaks his little ships.
Shower. Yeah. Or
when Wesley comes over.
Did anyone ever view that sequence positively? Even though he has a good line in it, I thought it always sucked. You broke your little ships, and that's the line that turned around the battle against the Borg. Give me a fucking break.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Worst
I never liked that
Contact.
part.
Fuck that. But all the Next Generation movies are bad. So say we all.
So say
Do
we
we?
all.
Yeah, even more enthusiasm.
No.
Here's the thing I'll say
What she
about that
should have
is they got
said,
worse.
what Lily should have said was, "Wait, is this the USS Godsend or the USS God's End? Godsend or God's End?"
This is an interesting guest, Mr. Sussman, sir. I hope this is the premiere of super cool episode Star Trek United. I'm fascinated to see you here, and anyone can make a YouTube profile, but let's give this one the benefit of the doubt. Want to thank you for all your support. I'm suspecting it's Krimon, but you know what? It's pretty cool. I would
Don't
say
toy
this.
with Teague that way. That's mean. That you, John Wayne? Is this me?
Is that me? Well, let's see.
Yes, it is, Pilgrim.
You know what? This is real. It's I don't know if there's a recent name change, but Mr. Sussman, this is the episode United. We're finding it to be really good, and there are some dialogue things that we would take issue with a little bit, but not deeply. We thought they could have been a little more precise. We thought the repair time on the Romulan drone was a little too long. We could have found a way to naturally extend that without really changing anything with some dialogue stuff. But it's good to be joined by you, and thank you for the likes on our X posts. And you know what? If this is you, you know what? Go ahead and retweet the promo for this show from your X account, so I'll know, and then I'll know that you might want to talk, because I'd definitely be interested in DMing you, and I would definitely be interested in talking to you about your show, because I think that you navigated all the interviews well. I thought that the interview with Mary Trump could have been fraught with difficulty. You had the best Mary Trump episode of her Star Trek show ever. There was no politics whatsoever. I think that you've shown that you have the ability to write a fantastic streaming show. I think that you've shown that you can hold our attention. And my only nitpick would be, I felt at that time it was a little too soon for the 9/11 analogy, but when I rewatched it, it was absolutely brilliant. So maybe the cool down period wasn't right, but if it is, it does seem to indeed be Sussman. So I thank you sincerely, sir. And we have really, really enjoyed your show. I mean, maybe it's not, but if anyone could talk to Sussman, Mr. Sussman, what would they say to him about the show? Let's just have fun with this one.
Yeah. Some adventure,
first,
some fun. Let's correcting the course, I guess.
JT, what do you think? What's your favorite episode? JT?
Is he there?
JT does sometimes have the small humans. Oh, hey, Judy and Gar wrote this one, so give them all the praise. And hate, LOL. You know what? I have a high level of confidence we're talking a genuine article. Welcome to a very respectful episode of your show. And you know what? I have someone here who has been waiting a very long time to say hello just to you, sir. If YouTube will let her. Sean, can you activate the
incoming transmission?
Welcome to Saving Star Trek, a show talking about one of my favorite shows, Enterprise. I am Linda Park. I play Hoshi Sato and also Empress Sato. So enjoy this show. I love that it's finding a whole new life on the streaming services. And you better hit that like button, or Empress Sato will not be happy. I mean, she could make a storm happen, and she could really make your life hard. Anyways, enjoy the show, hit that like button, and thank you for being a fan of Enterprise.
Linda does rock, and we think she's a fantastic actress. It was our opinion that she had the most challenging role on this show. I think it was really convincing when she translated these alien languages, and I thought she did a great job convincing us. And I don't know how she was able to come up with some of those verbalizations and things she did to make the show so great. It was fun. Thank you very much, and thank you for all your support. We have been the loudest, most consistent voice since day one. I hope you saw the video where we promoted it. We're about to update this one, and I very humbly invite you to come on my show. I wasn't going to be presumptuous enough to DM you. It will be in good faith, and we can discuss any ground rules you may have ahead of time. And, you know, this is a fun show where we try to mostly concentrate on Star Trek and have fun with both, you know, the beauty of Star Trek and the new kind of different Star Trek that we get in Enterprise, where we wonder sometimes what kind of mandates were handed down by the network, and we wonder sometimes how the UPN could not keep the show on consistently. And I love that it's getting a second life in syndication. So thank you very much, and I deeply appreciate it. We're going to have to keep going so that we can get this done in a reasonable amount of time, but thanks for joining us very much. I really appreciate it.
That's really cool.
Hoshi, it is really cool. So Hoshi and Travis get together and they have a discussion about this long chivalrous code that the Andorians have. They're going to find a way to make this happen, and they're looking at different outs, and there's one real easy one right off the top, that if his line would be extinguished if he was to die, then he doesn't have to fight. And Linda Park's ahead of him. She's like, she goes, it only counts if he's married. And Travis is just like, all right, man, you know what? I'm going to jump in here and, you know, help out. Maybe I can assist. And this is some of his best acting. Did someone make a great comment?
Oh, no,
what you said.
Yeah, what you said, that Mayweather was going to hop in and marry Archer was the implication.
Yeah.
A little progressive for 2004, but okay. Yeah.
All right. Let me continue. So I thought that we had found a good role for Travis, who on the bridge, we've seen a lot of what he does taken over by Malcolm. And when Malcolm's not there, we now have this very pleasant blonde woman who I don't mind seeing there. And she's the one who does a lot of the tactical control stuff. It's pretty cool. And I think the people who did the set did a great job, because now, like, if you've noticed, Malcolm seems to have his own like interface where he has a little screen of his own for targeting. We don't see it as much. It's not like the one on the 1701 where it's sort of like accordions up into Sulu's like point of view, and sometimes Chekhov has it. It's a different sort of targeting computer, but he's selling it with his acting.
T'Pol has it. That's how she knew how to use it when on the In a Mirror Darkly.
We see the top of Reed's monitor, and hey, Mr. Sussman, was that Adele, sir? We've just been speculating they're Adele's. So we see the top of Reed's monitor. We know he has his own interface, and he's doing his share of aiming, and he doesn't look at the main screen when he's firing. He's targeting. So the woman they did a great job. Scarf Podcast is here. Wasn't Mayweather also a singer who went back to making music after Enterprise?
Did he? I know he was in a soap opera.
He was in soap operas. That's what we saw.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever did music. He did guest star on an episode of House and some other things as well.
Oh, that's right.
So he kept acting.
Yeah.
Was he the patient of the week in House, or was he? Just
No. There was an episode
like
he was a what do you call it? A CPS inspector. for like the adoption when Cuddy adopted the child.
Oh,
he came
okay,
around
okay.
after to make sure everything was okay. And yeah, he had more lines, I think, in that episode of House than he did in like seasons 1 and 2 combined outside of Horizon on this show. It was kind of funny, but yeah. Anyway, enough about
So Archer has intervened by invoking a fight, invoking his right to substitute his Shran's opponent with the Ushan, I believe is the name of the ritual, and he fights him in a non-lethal capacity using the Andorian rules of substitute, and he manages to subdue him. And we see that he's got the better of him. And like we said, Phlox is a great corner, man. He's like, keep him moving, Captain. He'll run out of steam. And she's just like, like parry and throw and slash with this. Don't try to go after him with it. And the Tellarites just like stick it in his eyes. I thought that was great.
By the way, I love the first person perspective from that scene where we're seeing it from Archer's point of view. It's like everyone's just coming at him. Do this. No, do this. You recall that?
I wish.
Yes.
I wish that he would have been able to name a champion for him instead, and have like Tucker do it. I think that would have been funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably have the Tellarites be the one to come up with Archer being their champion. So he can screw over the Tellarites when he just cuts off the antenna.
Yeah.
It was a very TOS style fight too. I really liked the feel.
I did too. This is now having oh
wow,
like really good TOS vibes that I find enjoyable.
Apparently, Anthony Montgomery went into graphic novels after acting.
Wow,
really?
Got several different talents.
We give him a lot of grief, but I'm sure he's a great guy.
We've had some fun at his expense, but we run a streaming podcast where we do like we do lightly mock people and we make some racy jokes. And you know what? We have the authentic fandom here, and I can't tell you how much it means to be able to advance this cause and give hope and some entertainment to Star Trek fans on a news-heavy night, on a YouTube-heavy night, and on a night where we have so much going on. We're trying more than ever to just focus on things that are just Star Trek for tonight. More than ever, it's important. At this point, the entertainers have to entertain. And I do believe that after 2026's Year of Hell, we're going to have some Star Trek worth writing home about.
Well, hopefully 2026 is Year of Hell Part 1 and 2 condensed. I don't want a Year of Hell Part 2 be 2027 for Star Trek, but
well,
if that's what it takes to get to the other side, I guess, it has to be done, but
I have something I haven't had in a long time. I have hope of a Star Trek free year, like where they figure everything out, and hope that there will be after Kurtzman track, after sufficient but not overly long. I think under 3 years is very doable. Once the last Kurtzman Trek thing is over, we will end up having probably within a year. If they just push unification onto the open market, goodwill will be restored with a lot of original fans. People,
I wish it was easier to find.
I think that's contract related. I don't think they're allowed to really release it, but they have the rights to put it out there. They can't profit off it.
Like, here's a link, share it. Like, as long as they're not advertising it or something.
I think what happens is Paramount will let them share it at the end of this, is my belief. I'm sorry, go ahead, JT.
I was just going to say, I think 3 years is a little too optimistic timing wise, though, because if you're really starting truly from square one and you get all the Kurtzman crew gone and all the JJ crew gone, you have to start with somebody that's the new head of direction, right? And then from there, you have to start finding producers and writers and all the rest. You have to come up with a design for the ships. the uniforms. How is this theme going to be, or this new continuity going to work?
All be going on right now, as far as we know.
Well, I mean, hopefully, yeah. I mean, I would love it if that were the case. I just think 3 years. We saw how long Star Trek Phase 2 went on before we got TNG, right? A lot of this is just going to take some time if you want to do it properly and you want it to all look good, to feel right. 3 years might just be too quick. I don't know. We know how long it takes to film these days. It seems like it takes forever compared to the TNG era, where you remember though film 26 episodes.
We have Paramount. If Paramount's involved, they're cranking out Landman. They're cranking out all kinds of stuff at a reasonable clip.
A good amount of time left with Taylor Sheridan too, so there'll be enough material to keep them afloat. They got those MMA things. They got the MMA contract. They got the NFL contract. We can see why that's important to them.
Yeah.
It's sad they couldn't keep Taylor Sheridan, but hey, more room for an improved, better Star Trek show. But we have great hope for the future of this, and the brightest spark in that right now just happens to be Star Trek United. And it's weird. This is the first show that started out doing Star Trek in chronological order, and we've come to love these characters. The duel happens. Let's see if we get Hoshi. One of the things I love about Hoshi is whenever Hoshi has like a little bit of a fear or a phobia, once she gets over it, she embraces it, and she even gets to the point of being excessive at it. She was not so good with phasers. Next time we need to use phasers, she's like, I got this. She was afraid of the spacesuit. Then we have a space, and we have an encounter suit thing where she has to do it, and she's just like, I got this, and then the next dangerous adventure with the encounter suit, she's like, bring me. And they're like, you're not really that critical on this one. She's like, I want to go over there. I'm down for this one, man. It's kind of turns into a danger junkie on anything that she has to. She faces and overcomes her fears in a very cool and organic way. And if you're still listening, I would love her as Mrs. Archer, or at least at Archer's side. I think it would be fantastic to see her at Archer's side.
That would be a little bit creepy as Mrs. Archer.
That would be
40, 70. Yeah, okay. I wouldn't mind seeing her as Mrs. Tucker. I mean, she would make a good Mrs. Tucker. She should still
Mrs.
be
Carter?
active.
Mrs. Carter sounds better.
That's a good. Sean, you've read my Mrs. Admiral would also be fun. She's so cool, and I love to hear. But
You're glitching pretty bad there.
Yeah,
sir.
he's glitching, folks. We've been having some technical difficulties. We've had the engineering section involved this whole time. Not quite sure what the issue is tonight, but apologies for that.
It's my internet's slow all over this, and I've been paying for
it's really bad, Admiral. You may want to restart your computer.
You gotta take over. I'm gonna remove Hoshi from the screen. Talk about the duel and how it's resolved.
Yeah, Sean's your first officer. He can handle it. Yeah.
Okay, so what are we going to change the show to? New venue. No ice cream tonight. I guess,
New
right?
York.
From now on, women crew members will wear their hair loosely about their shoulders. And now
we'll implement the Ferengi dress code for the female crew.
I'll take you home again, Kathleen.
Yeah.
That episode, gosh, that is so hard to watch time and again and again and again, just because you're like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I can sit through him saying that again and again.
Even Kirk's like, please, not again.
That's annoying, but not quite as annoying as the naked now.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
The one, so okay, so
you want everyone to die just so Wesley can go.
Okay, JT and
Yes.
Sherm, if you had to pick, which would you rather watch over and over? I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen, or Fire, and the Children Shall Lead, that one where they do the chant. Hail, hail! I forget. It's so bad. I've blocked it from my memory. But
Yeah,
you know what I'm
hail,
talking about.
hail, fire and snow. Call the angel, we will go far
Yeah.
away for to see. Friendly angel,
come
to me.
So which one's worse, that or O'Reilly singing?
Well, gosh, the rest of the episode is so much better for to ignore O'Reilly with, but.
And at least O'Reilly had an
know.
excuse. He's like, well, I was space drunk. How about you, Germ? Which is worse?
Worse would have to be O'Reilly. I'm used to ignoring children.
That's a good point. That's
well played. Well played. Oh, so we talked a little bit earlier back to this
At least
episode.
you could go and punch O'Reilly.
Yeah. So
is
Sean,
it O'Reilly or Riley?
It's I thought it was Riley.
Yeah, it's Riley.
Yeah. At least you can go and smack him and not get put away for a long time.
But Sean, back to the fight between Archer and Shran, and I said earlier that maybe I'm the only one out here on this. I really didn't think the fight was all that great, honestly, when they actually did it. And maybe they tried to go a little bit too seriously in their own style on this fight, and it just didn't work as well.
Maybe,
could we have rolled some TOS camp in there and just seen where it went, or would it not play right? I'm thinking you could hear bum 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 bum.
That would have been a little too much.
Not clip that together
exactly, but
we can make an edit and see what it would have been like.
Some kind of musical motif threw in there that would have been kind of fun. I mean, I know they're not going to stand around and start putting quatloos on anything, but
Buddy Hepburn.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. Yeah, Sulu did look like he was going to a Diddy event on that for sure.
Halt! No, father. You gotta leave this hole bloodied with my blood on your sword. Isn't that what he said?
Maybe. I honestly don't remember the exact quote.
It's something about my blood on your sword.
But yeah, gosh, if I had to pick the most annoying TOS episode, though, that would be tough. Riley is definitely up there. The fire and snow thing didn't annoy me that much.
Well, I don't think that scene makes the naked time a bad episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bad scene, and I think it's a bad scene in a good episode. Because we get the other side of the coin. If you want to talk, we had a bad scene with Riley, but we have a great scene with Spock where he's trying to, come up with his equations and he's battling his emotions there. I mean, that was a great scene.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Angel says the fight was actually an anticlimax for him as well. The weakest moment of the episode. Not sure why. I think it was built up to be a lot, and there was a lot of tension, and the actual fight, the choreography wasn't terrible. I thought it was actually pretty good, but it just there was an X factor that was missing, and maybe it was the music, maybe it was the lighting in the ship. I mean, there's just so many things that might be small that you could point to where it's like, I don't know.
I'll tell you what I think it is. I think it the whole premise of it was great. It was very Star Trekky. We see some cool cultural stuff with the Andorians. It was really neat, but it was also like that scene was almost forced. Like because I mean, Shran had to do something with his anger. Something had to happen for Shran to move on and to get over this horrible thing that happened to his mate. He's got all this hatred in his heart and this anger, and he has to let it out. So you had to resolve that somehow, because it would have been way out of character for just to go, okay, well, I'm really sorry she's dead now, but this alliance is important, so I'll put it aside. He can't. Shran's not that kind of character.
Yeah.
So in that way, that scene was necessary, but it still was a little bit out of place. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah. But I think they could have fixed that if it wasn't Archer's if the Tellarites made Archer fight, and then that made Shran conflicted about actually fighting. And that would have actually gave Archer the out to actually win the fight, because he made Shran look like a chump in that.
Yeah, he did.
Supposed to be trained from a child, and Archer, the closest thing he ever got to battle training was water polo.
True, yeah. But I like the scene after the fight though, where he's looking in the mirror and his antenna's cut off. He's like, "This will take me 9 months to grow back."
At least it'll grow back. But yeah, no, that part was fun. From a practical issue, where did they get this set up to actually do the fight?
What do you mean the
cuffs that lock together and the blades? Didn't his ship get destroyed and they rescued?
They must have replicated it or something, or because Shran says he carries that knife with him all the time. Like I always have this on.
Sure, but he's obviously not carrying the gauntlets around.
Yeah, but I mean, the Enterprise can manufacture stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can manufacture it. There's actually a couple other Andorian ships around by that time. They've had interactions with the rest of the fleet.
I think Buddy Hepburn just found the most annoying episode of TOS, the Don't Be a Herbert. Do you reach on that, Sean?
I can see why some people do reach. I actually think it's a pretty good episode, to be honest. I went back and rewatched it not too long ago, and I'm like, aside from the goofy music and stuff, the story in itself was really good. I like the tragedy of the doctor guy. I really do. And we see a little bit of Chekhov's history, and he gets to do something cool. I don't know. It's really not a bad episode. Everyone pokes fun at it. There's a lot to poke fun of, but it's decent sci-fi.
Yeah, but the only real annoying part is all the damn hippies.
Yeah, it's damn hippie. But there was another thing I wanted to say. So we get that big fight between Shran and Archer, and one of the things this episode does well, and this is actually a good example of putting humor in the correct spots on a dramatic show, because we started this episode with some jokes. There's a little bit of humor. Archer's trying to have fun with it where he can. Then it gets serious, but they don't overdo it on the jokes. There's little beats of humor to give us a break, like Irvin Kershner said, with Empire Strikes Back. You have to give the audience time to breathe in between dramatic scenes.
So you mean putting in stupid lines like, I dropped your toothbrush in the toilet, or I had before I could pull the underwear out of my butt? That's not funny Star Trek humor.
No, it's not.
Wait, what?
But you know what I mean? Like this episode is a great example of that. There's probably 4 or 5 decent jokes in it, but they're placed strategically. Like we had a big dramatic scene, and then there's like a small reprieve, and where we get to kind of laugh at at Shran a little bit.
It's tactful humor.
Yeah.
It's not trying to do too much, but you could still identify with it 30 years after the fact, where some of your SFA jokes aren't even funny now. They're already passe.
Oh yeah, they were funny in 2016. I'm sure they're going to have a 6-7 joke next week. I keep hearing Admiral beeping in. Is he here?
No.
Oh, okay.
At this point, he's been gone for far too long. Sean, I think we put one of those Maquis ranks on you.
Never mind.
You're just a captain.
He's saying that to let him in, he can't do that. Oh, weird. Okay. Come on back in, Admiral. I'm sorry I didn't.
So one of the things about this story that I think is going to keep it from getting an A for me is actually the B story. And maybe this B story does more for the rest of the panel.
Okay,
for the chat. But
there he is.
When I think about everything going on
am I in?
You're in.
If you have to ask that, then she's going to get really mad.
I didn't feel all right. I didn't. How's my sound? Am I all right?
Sound good.
A little underwater, but okay.
Yeah, you sound a lot better than you did.
This was my modem is just dead. It started acting up yesterday, and now it's just dead. But the good news is the technical bug that's been defying me for months is now under control completely.
Oh, and Admiral Sir, our friend from far away down under, RTNZ just joined us.
Hello, sir. I wish I had a better interface to see everybody. And as you know, when you're mobile, it's really difficult to see the chat. What I think I'll do is I'll close this tab, but I'll be in StreamYards.
Could you get a little closer to your mic? I think it sounds like you're a little far away.
I think he's on his phone.
I think he was.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
He just left. He just left again. Damn. So anyway, I wanted to kind of go into the B story a little bit because we haven't really talked about that at all very much. And it does take up a surprisingly large amount of time in this episode. The whole thing again with just Malcolm and Trip together doing the hijinks on the ship. I don't find it to be in service much, and I think it is just there to take up time. And I really would have loved to see only an A story with those two on the ship with everyone else and having more Tellarite Andorian stuff, because right now they've done such a great job with the Tellarites and the Andorians that in that A plot is so strong. I would have loved to have just stuck with it. So after the fight with Archer and Shran, they have their discussion, but then we have to get back to where Malcolm and Trip get ejected out.
They got to resolve it. Yeah. And Admiral Teague is back. Are you there, sir?
Nope.
And every time he's like, I'm here. No. I'm going to go away.
So, to me, I feel like they should have just cut this out. Or made it very short and had them immediately been able to leave.
What they should have done is leave them on the ship long enough to determine kind of what it's doing.
Yes,
and they beam them back, and then like so they let them gather enough info to move the plot along.
Find out that it's a prototype, but they could observe, the ship being empty, but there's like a chair and a bridge and environmental controls. And then
hold on. Are you there, Admiral?
Yeah, I am. Here's my limitation. I can only see what's going on my phone, and I do not have the ability to read the chats. So if there's anything important going on, just keep an eye out for me, please.
Oh yeah, we're watching it. Yep.
All right, guys.
Although I do have to tell you,
yes,
I do have to tell you. As soon as you left the ship, I made the announcement that from now on, female crew members will wear their hair loosely about their shoulders.
Yes, I think that would be proper.
And everyone's getting ice cream later. Yeah.
Yes. No ice cream for Kirk if he gets into the engine room before we're done overloading the ship. But yes, the ice cream social will be later. So, like I said, I have limited technical abilities. You don't have the episode to go on anymore. I can't access my notes. So you guys are gonna have. This is going to be a challenging and interesting narrative to drive forward.
Here,
well, we're coming to the end of it.
I may be able to help with a little bit of that if we need.
I appreciate it.
We only got
How
like
do I-
10 minutes left in the episode, if that.
Yeah, let's see here.
Right, I think it's just understandably, I'm a little bit exhausted from my technical struggles of not one but two semi-dead pieces of technical equipment here.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the best you can come across in Mandami's New York.
This is he's
State-of-the-art.
not the one who killed the. He's not the one who
Sean,
killed the router.
If you want, I can
let's stay away
forward
from the
through a little
politics.
bit.
There we go. Well, systems can fail, backup systems malfunction. We were due for an overhaul 3 months ago.
So let's see what happens.
So we've got, again, the view of this, I guess, chamber or this lab on Romulus. We didn't talk about it earlier, but I did find it worth mentioning. There was this senator, or I guess, I don't know what you want to call it, a deep state employee that reports on behalf of the Senate about this, black off the books weapons program that they have going on.
Pre-Tal Shiar, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
He refers to him as a senator.
Oh, is he? Okay. So
the oversight guy is a senator. This guy is like a sub-commander.
This, to me, so there are two Remans earlier in the episode when we see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that at all.
It's just they had the costumes, and they had the movie was their most recent movie, right?
From Nemesis, they tried to play into that. It wasn't so
great, but it was far more well regarded than Insurrection.
Sure.
Maybe they felt like we could get a little of the old Trek magic back.
It was an attempt to show some at least there was a little bit of continuity going on, I guess. But
yeah,
because they didn't highlight them, they were just there in the background, and they were there to kind of intimidate that admiral.
Now, at this point in the series, we've had a long time to get this Vulcan CGI model ship pretty defined. This is probably the clearest we've ever actually seen it, I think.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah,
I wish they would updated.
Yeah, I think the next time we see this one is in A Mirror Darkly, which is in broadcast. It's a couple episodes later, but we've already done that. So.
And see, Kurtzman, you don't have to hide it in a nebula. You don't have to have 50 pounds of lens flare makeup all over it. You can just look at a ship and enjoy it.
Yep.
So, they've got this story trying to move through. You start getting the fight between this probe ship and how many ships do they have there? They have Vulcan, Andorian, Tellarite, and the Enterprise?
100.
Yeah.
How many?
128 total.
128, yeah. That's a lot of little ships.
Yeah. There we go, to Paul. We have her in the purple this week, don't we? Still not my favorite, Admiral.
My favorite is always going to be the New England Patriots silver one. And the second favorite is the white Wilma Deering.
I think T'Pol should be the one that's with Bill Belichick. Just hot take on that.
You win all those Super Bowls. It's probably true, and that was a troll rumor. They're still together. proving why people will risk all the problems that come with playing football.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's married previously, but the lifestyle wouldn't have hurt. It's like, let's face it, I worked 19-hour days for the last 30 years, 11 months a year. We don't have much.
So I tried to get a decent shot of this. I thought it was cool to see the two of them out in space with the Enterprise.
Oh, this was a great
up
shot.
on them. Yeah. I think this still gets it close enough to maybe where I would want it to be. But you kind of don't get to see this level of detail unless you also build the model and have the deflector in the front of the ship, right?
Yeah.
Sean, if you notice this, like I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, I don't think we ever actually get another shot actually this close to look at it. It's
Maybe
kind of
in the very first episode when they're docking, when we get kind of like the beauty shot.
Right.
But this is an incredible, I mean, you really get a feel of how big the ship is. It's such a better job on this show than current. Like, this is still better, right, than what we get right now.
And it's CGI. Like it's 1-to-1 the same type of technology, except far more primitive. You know, I can only imagine how long it took them to render something like this back into 2004. Just insane to think about. I really nerd out on this though, because I'm looking at this and I see like a saucer dish like we would kind of expect to see in very TOS-fied, but then you also have a TNG solid color behind it.
Yeah.
Like a deflector array. Interesting way to meld the two together, which I think is just something that this show did well. And it's a real shame we didn't get more seasons. A real shame.
Well, the Enterprise refit has the blue glowy in the deflector.
Yes. That's actually my favorite ship, believe it or not.
Refit?
The refit /A. Yeah.
I have quite a bit of affection for the refit myself. I'm hoping to see it in United.
I think we were talking about the Connie class.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But I agree. I want to see. Awesome. I want to see the refit. I definitely want to see the refit. NX.
Here you go. I don't know what Trip is looking at. Maybe they've got a pinup of T'Pol or something in there. I don't know.
This is where he's trolling Reed and says he's going to put him on report.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he falls for it. But
yeah.
What's funny is that Trip fell for Archer's troll in the beginning of the episode. Oh no, that was in the first.
That was last week. But yeah, the same story.
Yeah, I watched them back to back, so they're kind of melded in my brain.
But this spacesuit is very soft. It kind of looks like an astronaut spacesuit here versus like a hard, solid spacesuit that you might see in a lot of other science fiction, where it's almost like you're wearing a knight's armor type of thing, right? So anyway.
With a better cod piece, though.
Sure. Now, I do love the flotilla here of all of these ships from all the different species.
Yep.
It is very cool. Is that Rigelian at the top? I think this is Rigelian up here. Then you obviously have Vulcans on the left. And then on the bottom. But which one is this?
And what's the deal with the Rigelians? There's an Earth colony in that system, as well as whatever else is going on.
Yeah, that one in the bottom middle is the Tellarite. The top right, I believe, is Andorian.
I think they both might be Tellarite in this small view.
They put so much love into these special effects and attention to detail, and I think that's why we're calling it better. Because they weren't like relying on flashy computer stuff. Oh, look what this can do. It can do these flashy lights. And they were like, no, we gotta do it with the details. And it's just,
they actually put money into the effects. They didn't pay some guys straight out of community college to do it at minimum wage.
Yeah.
Or one of their kids.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this
wasn't somebody's kid's project this time around, right? They gave it to a professional for a change.
Yeah.
And didn't use an AI prompt.
On this show, we do use professionals, unlike what we said we see on New Trek. That's how I meant to say it. On this show, we get the level of professionalism that we're used to in Star Trek, and it's not. It couldn't be more different from what we review on Thursdays. Anyway, I'm sorry. Moving on.
I was going to say,
you're right. It's worth talking about.
I think this still perfectly encapsulates the entire story that we're going to get here in a way that we don't appreciate it. And by that, I mean, by the point that we get this episode, we've had so many decades of good Star Trek that we just expect this to happen. And it almost seems cliche at this point, or just so expected that maybe it's a trope. But they had to work hard to write up to this point to make it believable that these two would stand there and shake hands. And they're doing something that Archer said, I'm earlier in the episode when he said, I'm not going to insult you to make you feel at home, to the Tellarite. And then to Shran, he said, I'm not going to sit here and, kiss your ass whenever you're just an arrogant asshole. And how about you start acting more like a human? Well, here they are. They are acting more like a human. They're shaking hands.
And I like the way they do it too. It's a little different, just like their body language and the way they're kind of stiff arming it out there. It's a good it's good acting.
And it's well framed. They have T'Pol looking at the Tellarite. They have Archer looking at the Andorian. Right? It's balanced in the middle. But Archer's clearly the one facilitating the cooperation. He's the one clearly in charge. But they also both have agency, that they're both willing to work together, and they're inspired by Archer to take this step. And they know that they're going to be unified. Like maybe the episode, right?
Yeah, we didn't get the kind of I don't know how to put it. Archer sort of, he does he's uniting them here. If this had been something from New Trek, someone would have had to lose a verbal confrontation, and then Archer would have talked to them both like they were children, and they would have absolutely agreed with him because he was so amazing. And it would have been T'Pol who handled it.
Someone would have been cucked.
Yeah.
He allowed both of them to have dignity here.
They would have cried and hugged. They would have cried and hugged or something instead.
Kal-El makes a good point here. If you want to highlight his last comment.
Oh,
I
sure.
don't think it's cliche. If this thing stops jumping around on me.
I got it. Hold on a second. There we go. Go ahead, Jerm.
Oh, I guess that's addressed to you, JT.
Ah, okay. I thought you were going to read it.
Yeah, read it and say why it's a good point.
All right.
Can't get this thing to stand still. I don't think it's cliche. Classic Trek mostly set the standard for good storytelling. New Trek completely ignores it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's a good point. We get all that here. Basically sums it all up in one episode. And we've seen New Trek for 9 years now. Complete.
What
we haven't got one story in 9 years and 5 series?
The only way to put it that I can think that would be the most charitable would be I can't think of a charitable way to put it. They haven't been able to tell a story. There's no thread. The nicest way I could do it is just doing it without being profane or overly angry. But hey, guys, we're really close to 30 likes. We're only one away. So if you could help get us over the top, that would be really appreciated. and I don't know why I keep talking into my microphone.
This shows character growth, something you never have seen on our Thursday show when we talk about New Trek on a lot of that. Both of these characters, the Tellarite, not so much. The Tellarite just has to shut up for a minute. But Shran definitely had a character arc here.
Oh, yeah. I don't
In a
know. Did
big
he have
way.
a character arc, or did we just see more of his character that's there? Because we've seen. I love Shran because he's so multi-layered. But one thing that we've always seen from him is that he can be super passionate, but he will almost always see the reason in something. He's a reasonable thinking person.
Maybe. It's tough to say. What I will say though about this is that when you look at Shran through this episode and you look at him through the totality of all of our experiences with him, in the beginning his interactions with Archer were very transactional. I think after the fight there is something that's changed between the two of them, and Shran's not going to look at coming to Archer's help as saying, "That's two you owe me, pink skin." It's they're friends now.
Yeah,
right?
they're not counting anymore.
Exactly. And so that's what it took to probably push Shran over the edge to actually do this sort of cooperation. And so that's why Archer is such an important piece to this whole puzzle, because he could talk to the Vulcans and now he can actually get these two to agree to something. Well, that's huge, because I think there's probably a Mexican standoff between the three of these species before humans get involved, where they just cannot come together in this shot. And I don't think T'Pol has what it takes to get the three of them to work together. In fact,
No,
I think
she's too horrible word, but stained or affected. Like she's too scarred, maybe, or what's the word?
I just think she would lack the ability to network these two together in the way that it's there, because Vulcans just can't do that. Like, I don't think it's T'Pol specifically. You could have put any other Vulcan there, and I don't think it was going to work. Like, that's one of the things I always find interesting. It's like, if you even put Spock there, I don't think he could do it. And Spock is supposed to be an ambassador. I don't think even he would be strong enough to do this. I think it takes a human to do this. And maybe that's my Terra Prime forever sneaking into this.
No, they really demonstrate why Earth is the center of the Federation. The humans are the most adaptable of the species we've seen so far.
They moved the head of the government to Beta Z. You guys are gonna kick me off of Saturdays. I keep bringing in new Trek garbage.
No, we have to
anyway,
remind ourselves what we had and what's currently in front of us.
So, I mean, this is basically the end of the episode, folks. You do get another, I think, 30 seconds of the bad guys being almost caricatures that way, to the point where I already didn't like the way the Romulans were handled. I don't like it even more, the way that they were handled. But they're basically, well, we know we're the mustache twirling villain now, but you haven't defeated us yet. Let's see what happens in the third episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do get the reveal of the albino Andorian, though, at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which I didn't like, and New Trek ran with that in Strange New Blows.
Oh, with that engineer?
Yeah.
Are we talking about what's his name? Hammer? Can you hear me? How's my sound?
Yeah, there you are.
That sounds great.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it could still drop out at any time, but for the moment, my router has found stability. It took some meds or whatever.
You're 5x5 now. Like total difference.
Good thing that this happened this afternoon. At the moment I was looking at the router, like it turned red. And I would just like to say, my router looks like most Wi-Fi routers, especially the Wi-Fi part. It basically looks like Mikey Spock's first season haircut staring back at you. Like it's her with her first season haircut staring back at you.
Sir.
Well, it's got the weird asymmetric, like, you know how they gave her like the ski jump on top of her head and was sort of unstable?
Right.
Like it looked like they gave her like this weird asymmetrical crazy haircut.
With the super high fade on the sides. Yeah.
But when they ran away from that and gave her the like 11 years of like hair growth to change it, I guess that it works in Star Trek because you could just go and get some kind of hair stimulating comb or something like that, or ask the replicator for the hair growth pill that makes your hair grow right away. Hey, RTNZ has returned. Hello, Welshie.
Hold on, I got it.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
JT's 100% right. In 2004, we just expected good Trek.
Well, thank you, RTN said. That means a lot. I value your opinion, so thank you.
I think that's more of what you were probably trying to say, JT, is it's not a cliche. It's like, it's what we were used to.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you expected nothing less. The expectation level was so high. Or Admiral, we were talking about this for probably, close to 10 minutes now. What do you think about this still that we have it that embodies the end of the episode?
It's absolutely beautiful. It's aesthetically pleasing. Everything is framed and gorgeous. The way the outfit, you appreciate every single thing about the show. The costume. We've seen Shran for a real long time. He's got a great costume. Hey Daniel, it's good to see you. We've seen Shran before. This is the coolest we've ever seen him look. I don't know if his outfit's been upgraded for this episode, but he looks great. The Tellarites, we've seen them since TOS. They look more or less the same. They actually look better.
They look better here. 100%. They look better here.
I do love that we get to see a bit of their culture here. It explains why they're rude, and there's a kind of a logic to it in a way. It's a really good lore exposition in this episode.
Rudeness is their logic.
Yeah.
Although I resent the implication that neckbeards are rude.
JT's like really taking advantage of the work from home thing, huh? It's like, I'm going to throw a neckbeard.
Yeah.
He'll get it when his wife throws him out.
Well, yeah, our team said Spock definitely would have the ability in some way, and this is purely theoretical, like Spock was not in this position. He was also half human, but I still think that maybe he had some abilities working with Romulans, for example, in TNG. While he's Vulcan and Romulans have that connection, so he would do better in that situation. I just don't see it as an innate ability of Vulcans to be able to tie this together. And even if you get a half Vulcan like Spock.
Well, Spock also learned from his father, who was an ambassador.
True.
Yeah. But there's just a little bit too much hatred from the Tellarites and the Andorians toward Vulcans.
Let me just say, none of the Vulcans in this show have proven themselves capable of doing what would need to be done, which makes humans a necessary part to that. I think that's maybe a reasonable thing to say rather than going after Spock could or couldn't, because we just don't know. We just don't know. It never would have happened, right? So, anyway, so Admiral, what do you think of the Romulans coming into the end of this? I said they kind of seem like mustache twirling villains at this point. They don't really seem deceptive and shadowy or clever enough. And they just, to me, seem like they got, like an underhanded pitch for Archer to come through and just bat them out of the park at Fenway.
I think that they were we inherit their formidability. There's a problem with these Romulans needing to allegedly line up with TOS Romulans, and they just won't. Because in TOS, we've talked about this before, the Romulans are more honorable than the Klingons. The Klingons do not have the Bushido code. They have a warrior culture, though. So by the time we get to this show, we flip those traits for TNG, and we have, a Romulan that can only be at odds with his future, right? But that was retconned by Gene, so like people are going to go easy on that one and say, this was the intent of the author, and it works fantastically. And it wasn't that deeply ingrained in either culture because we hadn't seen the Romulans much. And we could just say, okay, the Romulan commander was an outlier. There were plenty of guys on his ship that were total dicks. Like that guy was like, sent the message in defiance of orders. I would have just like pulled out my disruptor right then and there. Radioactive. What?
Oh, man.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
I would live by the New Trek rule, by the way. If you take control of a ship in New Trek, you walk on and you phaser one person down right away to send a message. So you're saying that
all right.
They're saying they're really Vulcans versus Vulcans. All right, very racy, sir.
So 10 out of 10 times, someone's gonna just disintegrate Mayweather immediately to make the statement. Is that true?
If I walked onto the bridge of the Mirror and exit, well, no, here's the thing. It would only be a New Trek ship. So I'd walk onto the ship and I would immediately phase either Gregorio or Mikey Spock. And therefore,
no. You take them hostage.
I would go after a couple of women.
Who you vaporized immediately. You vaporize the morbidly obese lesbian lieutenant that's in charge of curriculum. You vaporize her, and you go. Teachable moment.
I know that I like the girl with the computerized eyepiece and the red hair.
Oh yeah, no, she would have value on your crew. I'm just saying, you vaporize them and say teachable moment, and then everybody knows you're a little fucking insane, and maybe I should just listen to the guy if I too want to have my molecules in one piece.
If I walk onto the bridge of, say, the Enterprise under Pike, it's like I just look around and they're like, "Who are you? Why aren't you wearing a leather jacket like people who are cool?" And I just be like, "Because I don't need a leather jacket to be cool, you loser."
I was looking for that. We need Albert Einstein. I was looking for that one.
Sir, we have to send for Albert Einstein. Sir, he's very busy. Sir, that was so controversial. Sir.
One sir montage.
Question, Admiral. Is there like a big and tall setting for the disintegration setting on the phaser?
Yeah, right. Like
I feel like in New Trek it's needed.
Like I'm imagining like Pike looking at like his phaser and then like looking over at his opponents like, "You're about a 36 regular, right?" It's like, why are you asking me that? Don't worry about it.
A 38 long. Oh. All right, setting 12. Yeah. Anyway. So, folks, I Admiral, I think we pretty much covered the end of this. I'm not sure we're setting up the Return of the Jedi part of this story to be that strong. I think you kind of already know how the story ends. Yeah, to me,
our story ends here.
Yeah, exactly.
we basically said, you know what? You guys are going to sit down and start talking this out right now. What do you think of that? And they're like, that's all right with us. Yeah, we think it's okay. So they sit down and they're talking it out. And with Archer just looks at them with a great line. He has an iconic line. It's like, why wait? Why wait for Babel? Why wait for Babel?
I think they should have done is instead of killing off the girlfriend, Shran's girlfriend, instead of killing her off, they maybe they give her a mechanical arm at the end of the second movie.
We could always do that.
She had a mechanical arm.
One of the things I think is sad is like, I don't think they had an end origin tale for the lady with the red hair and the eyepiece. And in the comics, they like dove deep into her, like, and I don't understand. Like, she's just gone. And
She
there's
only
just
had,
someone
like,
else.
She had like a B story
Never
in one episode of Disgracery, and that was it.
I think she
That
was
was
in
it.
the episode Enterprise Bingo or whatever the hell it is, where they walk all over the ship on a stupid scavenger hunt.
I totally forget.
I did. That was
Exactly.
actually one part I kind of liked that when they went to the hull and there was some graffiti on there. That was kind of cool. You would see that on a naval ship.
But please put on the encounter suits and stuff. Don't walk across the hull.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that just that little idea they had I did like that, but I hated the episode.
Somebody heard that from like a real sailor. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Somebody talked to someone who's like, my husband owns like 40 shipyards. Like, yeah, you want to back some Star Trek? Anyway, I was saying,
I stole a light bulb out of the galley.
$100,000 bill. It's like, don't worry about it. It's just, I don't care. It's like, can I have it? Yeah, why not? I don't feel like bending over to pick it up. Anyway, my husband owns like 60 shipyards and it's adorable. Do they call them craftsmen? At the end, they go in there and they do, I can't believe they even know how to do this, but they write their names in letters. Can you believe that? They can spell and put ships together. It's just like, that's
Big,
like
beautiful ships. A golden Starfleet. The golden Starfleet.
These guys, these politically homeless, honestly, Star Trek as we know it is politically homeless, going from special interest to special interest. And the week that they didn't have a lot of special interest money in there, because at the end we looked for the film grant thing and I couldn't find it. So, I mean, I wasn't going to keep watching the credits over and over. But it really did seem like they didn't have the kind of funding that they usually have. So my theory was the reason that the last episode of Starfleet Academy was so eventless and actually had a little tiny bit of world building and stuff like that in it was because this week no one paid them to do anything. And they're like, well, we do have these stories laying around. Guess we could do one of these
and
Star Trek-like stories. Put them.
Admiral, I'll say this. I absolutely hate government funding of this type of storytelling.
Why is Star Trek state TV?
This fundamentally is, some people may have a differing opinion. I fundamentally disagree with the idea of state-run TV, state media, especially when it's fiction.
American public television, I feel, has been done right, but you can have a different opinion.
I think that whenever you start having even one government sponsorship, it becomes less of what I think the writer's idea was and what was the corporate team forced to make to get the grant. And to me, that kills art. It just kills it.
Tetrarch makes a good point here. That is what happened, but I was aiming for the head. Come on, give me some credit. And you're right. I'm sorry. Sometimes we have to take the side quest for laughs. Everything's on the table here. You know what? Like the goal is a Johnny Carson-like show that's like rooted in the real world that is not going to be overly instructional. If anything, we have all taken a pledge not to be too instructional because we have been so instructed at. So
Today's episode of Saving Star Trek has been brought to you by the letter F.
the number F, Sean. It's the number.
Oh yeah,
F.
the
I
number,
appreciate
yeah.
the F. Yeah. No, good job. What? And,
It fit our
also,
conversation right there a little bit.
It was perfect. I'm just kidding. That extended the joke and enabled that next joke where listen. You know what? A lot of shows get a little rowdy. I put down myself all the time. I'm my biggest victim.
And I was just going to say that, people would like to think that, oh, well, the ancient kings and things like this paid Da Vinci or Donatello or stuff to make all this artwork or, kind of thing. And it's like, well, but the king was the customer.
And these guys pay Donna Versace or something.
The king but the king was the customer. You were directly responsible to the taste of the king. It wasn't His Majesty's government paying for it. And so when you had it, it was like, well, we need to make something really good because the king is a Star Trek fan. We got to make a really fucking good Star Trek story. The equivalent of that in classical art, right?
Trek, where the new Trek story would be called On Her Majesty's Civil Service.
But you just see, and it's like, okay, well, what are the motives of this government that gave you the money?
Yeah, kind of like when the king asked for a new fabulous ballroom.
Well, we're getting a ballroom. I've always wanted one. It's going to be so big, the biggest ballroom.
But you know what though? It's a perfect analogy because it's not being funded it's being funded privately, just like
exactly. And I
well,
think that's
let's not go too deep into the weeds of specific politics, especially this weekend when there's so much going on. I think that people who came here came for the entertainment. So let's just keep it non-political.
My
I wasn't trying to be. I was just
what it was. That wasn't even political. Like let's keep it non-news oriented and non-topical. If anything, we need to stay away from the news more than anything now.
It's just an example of where you see. Oh yeah, go ahead, Drew.
I agree with Rocco the Brave. Vulcan on Vulcan violence is very entertaining.
Yeah, you know what? It usually involves a very hot woman sitting there, like pitting the men against each other. So it's much like human on human violence, except the woman is always hot because she's Hollywood beautiful. But I thought this was a strong. By the way, this is another frame from Star Trek Enterprise that I believe could be a picture on a wall, an oil painting.
Speaking of Vulcan on Vulcan, I just watched a mock time yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, no, as a way to just wrap this up, Admiral, I don't think I really have a great. Yeah, we're pretty much done with the slide there. Let's see.
I can do it.
Take it off the stage. There we go.
I have removed it. Rocco says, I come here to hear about political stances and to hear how Tylenol makes you love New Trek. Yeah, I mean, that's the level of seriousness that we try to have about it. It's jovial.
Yeah,
the world needs a Johnny Carson. We're trying really hard not to get into stuff like this. It's totally in the air tonight. Believe me, we got a weekday show where everybody can hear me be a little more edgy and a little more real. But
Admiral, just to be clear on that, I was just saying in my opinion that I don't like having a government funding it because it always comes with an agenda. No matter which direction it comes in, it hurts Star Trek. We got a great episode of Star Trek tonight.
Should be made by Star Trek writers.
Initially privately funded by Star Trek writers without an agenda that has to be crammed in to the writing. You should be free to write your own story. And that's all I was going at. I'm not trying to dig on even the specific countries' governments that gave that money. I just don't think that you should be in that type of business to make your art because then it's compromised.
Makes everything,
from
at least, it's not a good look. It makes everything feel suspicious.
Yeah. And
it will because you could have something and end up having both sides claiming that it was the other one that
you will
biased.
and you totally will. He totally will.
I've come to a new conclusion, by the way, the Bluesky experiment versus the X experiment. So I've been like posting identically on both. And what I found out is like over on Bluesky, the same posts kind of blew up. Like for them, for a guy with like 7 followers and following 3.
That's a lot over there.
There's not a lot of activity. And what happens is on Bluesky, you cancel people.
Is that really how it's what it's called? You cancel them instead of blocking?
I've come up with that's my term.
Oh, I thought for real that because I wouldn't be surprised if that's really what they called it.
No, I'm calling it that because I'm kind of a dick, but I also like my job is to come up with funny nicknames and jokes.
But it's accurate.
I don't have the bandwidth.
That's why.
It is accurate. Let me take a look. I didn't put the Bluesky app on my phone. Now, I will say this. Bluesky slow. Oh, I have 2 notifications.
And one of them's probably an ad.
No, what I'm going to say is I found that Bluesky is the most passive aggressive. So here's the deal. X, it's open combat. Okay. X, it's open combat. And your replies really show the content of your character. And anybody who wants to get a job who's had an X account for more than 10 years, like take it, like make it inactive or like delete it. Better off delete it and start over again. Like, you know, you can download your photographs if you want them or stuff like that. But honestly, the social media scan. Well, if I'm coming back as like as skewing like heavy MAGA until I ask it like 2 or 3 edifying questions, and it says Admiral Teague's 10% of politics is 10% of his content is politics, and it's like, why is he MAGA? It's like he talks to Snowdub and he talks to, and it's just like maybe Admiral Teague just is essentially a guy who wants to get along with people and is like, you know, has a Shaquille Jordan like ability to sell sneakers to Republicans. I'm sorry, Michael O'Neill.
You're like the Ferris Bueller of social media.
So that's X. What is it like on Bluesky then?
Okay, so here we go.
If X is open combat, what's the other way?
All right, so let's see. This comment was to Star Trek Discovery podcast. As you can see, they have the colors you would expect. I guess we could make this a little larger and we can all go on the bottom here. But you know what? Before we do that, let's just remember one thing. We didn't rate the episode. So let's take a look at what our audience thought, keep the Enterprise vibe going, and then we'll go to the social media arguments as I have a rare moment of what alcoholics call clarity, where I realize that I should focus on my freaking show. All right. So we have a really big split here where the A is 47% and the B is 41%. But that is 88%, ironically, of our vote. And that means that there is such a strong case for A and such a strong case for B in the hearts, the faith of the heart of our wonderful Star Trek fans, that you guys, you wonderful people, have given it a 47% A, 41% B. I guess that makes it an A minus more than a B plus, but people don't think this is A plus, but they're liking it. They'll like it. We have the most Enterprise loving crowd on YouTube, I would say.
Probably true. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
For B is 41%. So C 6%, D, F 6%. Only 12% had the idea that this was mid or bad Star Trek. I thought that this was a great episode 2. This is the best episode 2 they did. We've heard that episode 3 isn't so great, but maybe it's a different feel of an episode or a different kind of episode. It could still be good. And I would point out that after the way we did episode 2, episode 3 will probably feel fairly episodic because we could do episode 3 with no setup, no beginning.
I think that was the most times anyone has said the word episode in a 30-second time span.
Now, Admiral, I was a little confused when you put this poll up at the beginning. And I put DF.
Were you considering smoking it or
no? I put up D/F, and I did that because the last time I flew United, they lost my bag. So I definitely did not approve of United.
I almost spit my Gatorade all over my microphone. Thank you. Don't worry, I'll clean it up later. I turned my head to
my
the
grade
side.
for the episode is far higher than a D/F, but the poll will be slightly skewed because of that response.
All right. It is funny, but you guys will continue to get your say. That's where it stands right now. I'll leave the poll open for a while longer, and then I'll go around the horn and talk to my amazing panel. I just want to say, you guys have served above and beyond. It's a diverse group of old white men who dig women and are slowly acquiring Adidas jackets as we start branding the show a little. I think we have turned the Adidas jacket into like a Star Trek uniform. It's just like Admiral Teague shows up and it's like, well, Tachyon Pulse wears this, so I just want the authority. And I would point out where I wore the Adidas track jacket, and I call it my Tachyon Pulse look. When I wore my Adidas track jacket, that is the most successful ever.
Did you wear it when you interviewed him?
Yes, and he wouldn't wear his. He had a fleece
totally
on
did.
because he was in his basement. He's like, I was like, please, you've got to put on the Adidas jacket. He's like, fuck you, it's freezing. And it's like, come on, Tachyon, where's your dedication to the United Federation of Planets? It's like, next question. He was great though. Like he had the courage of his convictions. I don't know where he's getting it from, but we certainly have respect for the Tachyon Pulse, who we find personally honorable. And he seems to have a busy enough life. He's spending so much money, if our theory is correct, and I have adopted Germ's theory as I have on a few things. Germ thinks to came up with a very plausible, very Occam's razor idea about how we get. Ooh, no, let's not look at that. A very Occam's razor way that we would have this is that we have. I lost the thread because I looked at the new Trek thing and
I was just gonna say that and I totally forgot too.
Looking at the new Trek stuff, just it's so jarring. That's why I try not to cross the street
totally.
So
I like instantly lost 15 IQ points just staring at it. I totally
chromosome off screen.
Lost what I in my mind. That is impressive dumb juice right there.
It is really just impressively dumb. And this week they couldn't even afford color. Here's the thing. This episode of United, the audience is giving you A's and B's. Let's go around the horn. Did anyone go yet? My mind is blank from seeing that.
We haven't.
Okay, so just me. All right, let's go with Germ first. Well, the audience went first. I read the poll. Germ, you get to go first, sir.
I gave it an A minus, probably about 92%. I like the fight. They could have done it a little better to buff up Shran a bit. They kind of made him look like a chump because he's supposed to be the trained soldier and Archer's just an athlete, basically. I don't see why they're going with the Andorians, the albino Andorians. That wasn't necessary, but those were the only two flaws I had with it.
Okay.
I think the white Andorian is because the one in TOS is like only very slightly blue. I know he's a spy and an infiltrator, but the Andorian we see in TOS is really pale whitish, right? Isn't he like kind of chalky white with just a little blue, if any, around the eyes and stuff?
He is heavy blue.
Yeah, he was pretty blue.
I don't remember any Michael Jackson Andorians in TOS.
Was he just like you know what? How dare you suggest that vitiligo couldn't hit the Andorians too? Shame on you. You know how you wouldn't last long on the Trill homeworld with that attitude. Every Trill suffers some vitiligo, and here you are mocking them.
That's impressive that you know that word. I would never have guessed what it meant unless you had provided the context.
Oh, I remember now what I was going to say. It went back to the Tachyon Pulse. So folks, folks, earlier today, I look down at my phone and I have an Amazon notification. I'm thinking, oh, it's probably, I got something delivered or whatever. And it said, you have great taste. And it just had a picture of a model in an Adidas jacket.
No. Did you order one?
No, I took it. No, but I was looking to get one like 3 weeks ago.
You looked at it on Amazon, and it's like he hasn't come back to look at it again. But he looked at it for a while.
Shit, if I talk about it in my living room, it comes up on my suggestions.
Yeah, so I actually took a screenshot and sent it to you guys in the private subspace chat that we have.
I thought it was great.
I
like the
thought it was
tachyon
hilarious.
pulses? It needs a hoodie. What I think would be great is we get NX01 patches because the Adidas logo is now critical. And that's on the Starfleet logo side. So we need like NX01 patches on the other side for our Adidas track jackets. And the great thing about this one is, one, it's a great track jacket. Two, it's like bizarre. People will be like, why do these guys have like Delta symbols on the sleeves of their Adidas jackets? And like, when we all meet in New York to go see the premiere of Star Trek United at the Paramount Theater on 95th Street, perhaps we will wear those jackets. Or let's face it, I'm going to wear a suit. I can't wait for that day to happen. I know we have hope for that one. And you know what? This episode really it bears the name of that, and it's setting some of the tones for it, right? Like, we don't have to compress the time frame of cooperation anymore, too. Either we've had this 23, 24 years off.
Sure. So going into this, I guess Germ went. I give my review on this. Then I would love to give this episode an A. I really would. That ending handshake and the way that Archer can get these species that don't trust each other to work together in common cause was just peak Trek. Phenomenal to see. Some strong writing there. However, I don't like the B story. I think the B story was there just to fill up runtime. It does not advance either character of Trip or Tucker in any way. Trip or Tucker. Malcolm or Trip in any way. And it just is extra. It's fluff. It doesn't really give us a ton of great information other than to give us a really weak vessel to communicate that, it's a Romulan ship, which the audience already knows. Why do we have to watch them discover this? The other part of it is I really don't like the way that the Romulans were written as mustache twirling villains.
I prefer a certain formality on the bridge. When you don't like something, I expect the emphasis to be correct. Please say that according to regulations.
I did not like the way the Romulans were portrayed as mustache twirling villains. Anyway, and so I think, they really tried to up them as these villains that were too simplistic. Not complex enough to be Romulans, and they really went into Star Trek Nemesis too much. Some things like that I just think were not helpful to canon and not helpful to continuity. So I don't think it can get an A, but I think you get it about as close to an A as you can. So I'll give it a B+. I give it an 88.
All right. That's fantastic. And Jerm, you gave it what?
92.
All right. So that's an A even?
That is A minus.
A minus. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Sean, going over to you, sir.
I agree with JT's criticisms here, but I am going to give it a 90. I'm going to give it an A simply because the lore building, the world building that we got here is so phenomenal, where we really see a believable beginning to the Federation. Like, you can see the events that took place, that the history books may not really show. If they, the future, the history books of the future wouldn't show, the interactions between the characters, the respect that Shran gained for Archer. We see amazing We see amazing world building, culture building with the Andorians, with the with the Tellarites. We get some of their culture. We get to see humans kind of really coming into their own here, and it's timed perfectly with T'Pau had disbanded the High Command, and humans are like, we're on our own now, and they're stepping up, and this episode, well, this trilogy of episodes, but this one in particular accomplished so much, and so much important stuff. I have to. It's an A minus, but it's an A. So there's
all right.
But I think our scores are all very close. You know what? You had 88, JT.
Yes.
I had a 90 and Germs a 92. So we're all within that 5-point range for varying reasons.
Yeah, it's a tight grouping, I think, for our typical scores.
Yeah. I can forgive the fluff. I do agree it was fluff on the ship, but in a way that was kind of good because it was keeping me anticipating the next scene of what's going on the Enterprise. It was almost like it was very suspenseful. Like, okay, I want to get back to that. So it did serve a purpose.
Yeah, I agree. So you're giving it a 90 and an A.
90.
Any final thoughts, anybody? You guys have the last word here before I go, and then when the audience goes. But any last words? Anyone have anything to say? Anything that stuck out? Highs and lows? Anyone with a jump ball on that one?
Yeah. Andorian life finds a way.
I did like the interaction between Mayweather and Hoshi. I mean, we actually see Mayweather doing something interesting.
Yeah,
we
finally gave him something cool to do instead of press buttons and fly the ship.
Yeah, go for it.
He's developing a new sort of. It's like if this show had lasted longer, his hobby would have been like hanging out with Hoshi because he's not an idiot. That would have made him look smarter, and maybe his acting improves a little more. But the thing is, if you had made the new team Hoshi and Travis, it would just be like, I can't stand. Oh, it gets Hoshi again. I can't Travis. Oh God, Hoshi. I can't stand. Oh, Hoshi. So like it wouldn't have. It was like it was a little bit herky jerky, but for a lot of the scene, it just focused over his shoulder on her. It was almost like he did the dialogue later because he can't deliver it good live, and it's like, yeah, no, that actually is what happened. I think. He's better now than he's ever been in this show. Their sense of what he can do is really, really on the money. And they're allowing him to be a character that is still true to the original Boy Scout, which, though boring, was deeply established. So he can't just walk away from that. He can't like come out the next day and be, well, what's funny is he will come out in 2 weeks and be mirror Pride Weather, but he can't just very well like turn on a dime and do that here. So his new thing is like, you know what, on the horizon, we spent a lot of time reading books, so I can help you read this stuff. And like the one thing, like, what's the nitpick that if this episode could have been omnipotent, it would have had like a little more, maybe a reference to the AI, but the idea that they had to read it manually, like maybe the AI is not up to speed. But the problem with that is that Travis reads it. So I don't know. Maybe the AI has got an enabling line about like the AI has already finished some of these, like, translating them.
Maybe
at least to translate. Like I thought that there was value in showing them futuristically reading, and that in the future people still read and do research and double check things. And let's assume that they did use an AI and they're running down footnotes and stuff and making sure it didn't hallucinate or whatever else. You know what I mean? There's still foreseeable things. It's like if there was an AI used to help them out in this one, it was off camera. But we've well covered AI in Star Trek, so I thought this built very respectfully on other Star Trek themes. As I look at my notes, I have seen that it didn't really violate any canon at all, maybe to the expense of the episode. But you know what? The Romulans are fun. They're kind of jerks. And they They're duplicitous enough here. It's not the most well-crafted story, but we needed to show the Romulans. You know what? The idea that Star Trek shows get brought back wasn't like crazy. They were right to try it. Everything, they never put their best team on the field with some of the mistakes in some of these seasons and some of these episodes. With season 2, we love it, but the pacing of the episodes is just, it doesn't work. There's not enough team building in it to up front. Carbon Creek's a great episode, but it needed to be like episode 5 or 7.
I think this episode has the genesis of the biggest failing of season 4.
Genesis is the biggest failing of Star Trek from Starfleet Academy, but go ahead.
The Andorians from the Northern Continent, I think, are the worst idea of this season and one of the worst ideas in probably all of Enterprise.
Jerem pointed out it's their moon.
Is it?
No, it's just I think it's
or was
in the
it
north,
a space
isn't it?
station? Was it a moon or was it a space station?
Jerem?
I believe it was a moon.
Thank you.
I thought it was in
They may have.
the waste.
I thought it was in the Northern Continent.
They may have originated in an isolated part of Andoria, but their colony's on the moon.
Okay. All right. I still think that species is the worst idea they had in season 4.
Kal-El. And guys,
it was a little
you know
bit
what?
MacGuffin-y. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sean. Go ahead, please.
No. I mean, it's kind of a MacGuffin species. They needed something mysterious to do. But the thing is that the characters was written well, and I liked they had a different type of society, and they did a good job of representing them.
In as much as I don't like that species, they still had some dignity, which was stripped away in Strange New Worlds.
I'm looking forward to meeting the Regillians next week. I'm looking forward to meeting the Regillians next week. I'm hoping they have some presence in the episode.
Rigel 6 or Rigel 7?
One of them seems to be an Earth colony, and then maybe there was a native population on another planet. That system is as messed up as a system from Battlestar Galactica. Like, there's like some of them have polar orbits around the sun and stuff like that. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we've heard, like, what, Rigel? What's the highest we've heard? 4 is the lowest, and 12 is the highest, right? And there's
Something
no
like
Rigel Prime that we've heard of.
Yeah, about that. That's a fair approximation of it.
And by the way, here's my Jeb Bush moment to be politically lighthearted. Please clap. Please clap. Just one more like. I don't ask for anything but likes. Yeah.
We are already at our goal for likes. We are at 35 likes.
When I refresh, I see 34. Did somebody pull one back? What did Buddy say? That's the moon. It's Lizzo's rear end. It's too big to be Lizzo. It's too big to be Lizzo's rear end. She's affiliated with Star Wars, so we don't have to go down the path of like the low-hanging fruit of all the jokes about Lizzo. Hopefully soon to be known as Ozempo, because that would be hilarious too. If Lizzo is able to lose all the weight, I hereby offer to buy the. We will crowdfund to buy the extra skin that's left over from the surgery.
Oh no!
And I'll make a Starfleet command chair out of it.
Oh no!
For my mirror universe team.
Oh
man! What? The money could go to charity. We could do a lot of good with this.
Tell me to put my vomit waste bin next to my desk next time.
Does she not need does she not need the surgery anyway? I mean, I'm not suggesting anything untoward here.
Yeah, but you don't need to be buying the excess.
You're right. I'll call Amy Schumer and get her skin instead.
Probably smells like bleach.
I don't know. All I know is that, I wish that her uncle would leave the Senate so that we could have a more functioning political system, because you know what? Both sides can't be this.
Well, I'm confident we will win. and we won't rest till we win.
You know what? I broke my own rule. Let's try
You
to,
did.
get away from the politics.
You did.
Can't undo that, but we can diminish the effects of it.
Don't bullshit me.
Why?
You know-
Why? All you had to do was pull the trigger.
I was
Okay,
really
that-
disappointed at work the other day. I actually worked in the line. It was stylistically designed to be that way.
No one got it.
And no one got it. I was so sad. I mean, I felt proud of myself that I was able to work it in, but yeah, no one got it.
I mean, when no one reacted to that, you should have just gone with
God need with a starship?
Oh, people would have definitely gotten that one.
Did they did someone like chastise you, and did you say, well, the jerk store called and they're running out of you?
No, I did not.
All right.
I mean, what would they say back to you on that? That's like Sorry, it's been up a long time today. I'm quite tired. So
Rocco, you
Help with me.
you wacky guardian, are you making a teepee out of Lizzo?
oh.
Look, she needs the surgery anyway. We're not going after her as a human being or saying she's an evil person. But we'll say that her performance on Disney was terrible. And I think it was really cool that she got to play Thomas Jefferson's flute.
Was she worse than Jack Black?
They were
No.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
whatever
it's
he
someone
had.
won a contest. That's how big their roles were.
Well, when
Whatever
they
he
when
had.
they sat that close to one another, they had enough gravity that it interfered with the orbit of the moon. So
Moon. I want to talk about the moon. We go to the moon to get to Mars, and that is what we're doing with the moon. Anyway, that's my grade. I give it an A. I give it a 90,
Sure.
and I give it an A. Outright A. No qualifier. What do I have to go 92 to get an A? Actual A? It's an
Yeah,
A.
I'd say
It's a
90
flat
is
A.
an A.
no, 90 is an A minus, but 92 is
All
the
right,
lowest A.
92. Let's give
yeah.
let's give it a 93 then, because it's a pretty good A.
Hey, it's still
it's not
4
the greatest
points on your
A, it's not an A+.
GPA. So.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a line drive in the scorebook. So I thought they did a great job, and I'm looking forward to next week. And then we could talk about some of the other long roads.
We
we've
have a
been down.
Thursday in between, though. So
No, but this one will be the Jonathan Frakes episode.
no,
Yay.
that's right.
Yay.
Episode 9 is a
Yay.
Frakian. It's a Frakes
Right
joint.
now, what I'm thinking, like now, I can't speak on behalf of Mike Sussman, but if Mike Sussman is here, I would imagine, and I just imagine this one, that Mike Sussman is probably like restraining himself from typing in there, like, yeah, I would have hoped for more with that one. And the one thing that I thought was really cool is when I watched the Mary Trump interview, guess what episode? They asked him about a specific episode, and he had our take. The same take we had, like, was exact point for point, which means that we read it correctly.
Which
We
episode?
lined up with things the producer thought was wrong too. Detained. Every point we hit except the air raid.
Did he say the Colonel Green?
No, but like I look forward to talking to him about that because I think he'd be rolling. He seems like an affable guy, so I think I could get. If I can make Germ laugh, I can make anyone laugh.
I think that's so cool that he was here. Did you confirm with the chat that it was Michael Sussman, folks?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we know it's Michael Sussman. What I asked him to do with his ex, he did. He didn't retweet me, but he said, I liked your post. And he can't afford to retweet me. Well, I think that makes sense. No, he can't retweet me because he hasn't vetted me. He's really in a position. And I promise you guys that we would try to help shape the narrative and speak on behalf of the fans. He didn't have any problem hanging out here with us. He didn't say anything denouncing. I don't foresee him unfollowing me. I am going to send him a respectful thank you DM where I ask him for nothing and see how he responds and what he wants to do. This way he can emoji out and be free of it. I don't know. Like, if my involvement in helping publicize it hurts Star Trek, United, then I would prefer not to be part of it. I want this more than I want personal fame or virility. This station has never chased virility except in the name of Star Trek. I have chased sustainability because I want to be a YouTuber, and I have my weekday show where we talk entertainment and we dish and we have some fun and we joke around. And you know what? I get to spend a lot of time with you. Jerm and I have had some amazing interviews with Star Trek creators independent of Paramount, like Neural Derp, who made Pirate Star Trek and Redneck Star Trek and Hillbilly Star Trek. He made all those great different Star Trek things. J. Michael Straczynski used his Babylon 5 thing, pinned it to his profile, thought it was so funny. We've had Tachyon, who is at least kind of a wave maker in the world of Star Trek news. We have a good and respectful relationship for him. And also, Germ, have you noticed his content since we talked to him has evolved a little bit, or at least his opinions have?
Yeah, at the very least, he's done a lot more live. He never did any of that before.
And here's the thing, he handles the criticism fairly well. I've noticed he hasn't gone out at anybody, and he's been criticized and called out, not harshly, but directly by people.
I don't think he's ever gone after anyone directly. It's just...
Yeah, you saw the JDA Talks thing. It was not as interesting as I hoped it would be, but it was good. You saw the whole thing. You said that JDA Talks was a little more was a little more investigative than I was.
They challenged him. He challenged them a little more. Yours was more of an interview, and JD was more kind of a debate discussion. Not a bad one.
It was agreed that he would jump on within an hour that was set up, and the ground rules were this was too soon to make ground rules for an interview for an interrogation. So I won't interrogate you at all. And plus, like, we've had fun talking about you. This will just be an interview. We're not going to go after you. And I think that, like, I have to then again take my hat off to Germ, who did such a great job of keeping the balance in the mix just right.
Yes.
He is one of my greatest assets.
100%. 100%.
So at any rate, I think, you know what, with the technical problems and stuff, we're going to bring it to a slightly early close tonight in under 4 hours. My God, how do we do it? We'll be back on Thursday night with a new track Nightmare. And then Tuesday, I don't know. What did you guys think of Admiral in the afternoon? Afternoon Admiral. Which one do you like better anyway? Afternoon Admiral on Tuesdays.
That's a good idea. I like the ring of it.
12:30 to 5 Eastern time. Well, I might like end a little early if I'm getting tired, but you know, like I won't stay on the air if I'm too low energy. But I jump off the charger in the morning and I drink my espresso because I'm Latino and I pay the extra money because it comes from some country that has like a super high tariff. It was $400. It was so much money to get that coffee. Believe me. I sometimes, like 14 hours is too long to wait to talk to you wonderful people. Teague Tuesdays is like, it's the more established in the afternoon show anyway that people remember from a couple of years ago. Teague Thursday is like kind of a newer thing that it was just like, it was floating and opportunistic. I'm committed to it now. The time might be a little earlier on nights when I have really early work. Understand, like I wouldn't be as good at this if I wasn't grounded enough to have a real world job and wake up at 3 and 4 in the morning sometimes to do my thing. So it's in service of being a better Star Trek guy, but the sustainability and the loyalty that you guys have given me have been some of the greatest things that I have ever had in my Star Trek career. And, as Patton said, all my life, I've wanted to lead a bunch of guys on a desperate cause. Well,
just 3-4 in the morning, it just shows a pimp's job is never done.
Never done. JDA Talks answered my DM, but has not re-answered my DM. However, he has his irons in a lot of fire, works in the real world, and also writes in YouTube's 2 channels. So who knows? It doesn't really matter to me if we get him on or not, because I would say, while I like his takes and I know he knows his lore, it would be a great and interesting conversation. As far as Star Trek news, like, we might have invented it reacting to the tachyon pulse, but I don't think he stole it from us, but that's mostly what he does. So we react to tachyon pulse on an ongoing basis on like a couple of minutes, like every couple of weeks. And then every once in a while, when he says something that's really loopy or really big, we'll spend like 5 or 10 minutes talking about it, or maybe do like an hour on tachyon pulse's take. And like, the thing is, I contact him beforehand. We talk about talking. No screenshots have ever been shown of anyone's conversations with me by me. I don't do that. Confidentiality is important. And you know what? We're not Access Media and we're not professional journalists, but you know what? I took journalism in college and I got an A+ in it. And one of my guest professors was not Woodward, but Carl Bernstein.
Oh, nice.
And I got to hang out with him for a few hours and talk to him. He's a fucking deeply interesting guy. He also like he found me funny, so that was fun. But I wasn't like formally trained by him, but like he was guest for one day. And what I thought was really cool was he came to the school on the speakers tour, and he went for free to all the journalism classes that day on his own time. So he wasn't just that. Look, he believes what he believes, but like I would say the things he said was just like, follow the money was from the movie. Don't believe that. I won't reveal who Deep Throat was. I don't care. I didn't like the way Jack Nicholson played me. I like Dustin Hoffman better. I also think that, it would be probably best if you guys always kept your objectivity. So he didn't like push one side or another. He was apolitical at that time. And I've noticed he's more apolitical than Woodward when he goes on these shows. And I can enjoy his commentary better. Woodward sounds kind of partisan, but Woodward was a society, was the politics and society reporter, and Bernstein was crime. They put them together, and they're from 2 different worlds. They were never like the greatest of friends. They've had a great cooperation for years now, but it's not like, I'm sure they call each other on their birthdays, but I don't think they take vacation together or anything. But it was interesting to meet him, and I thought that he was a fair journalist when I met him in the 20th century. Things could have changed. I haven't.
So they don't go to the
impressive
Wrigley's Pleasure Planet together.
He went to like a normal community college and talked to like normal community college kids and encouraged them to go into journalism and to protect your sources and to do good, solid investigation that you can back up. There was nothing. He was talking about anything but fake news. But I think, in 1987, 88, like, was there anyone who was hard news than Carl Bernstein? Less time removed from, bringing down a president than Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Enterprise. Sorry for the blasphemy. Is from leaving the air. It was pretty recent. It was as recent as like 3 Doors Down being relevant. So anyway, we're good here. I think we got our project taken care of. We played Linda at the beginning of the show. I think everyone's heard Sydney Sweeney. What's everyone up to this week? JT, any more stuff with Mark D with the C or Dad Man?
I'll be on Dad Man's Tuesday. I'll be going into the live game of basketball that I watched this past week, and we'll be going into some March Madness talk. So that'll be fun. That's Tuesday, 9:00 on Dadman Walking 55's channel. Thanks.
I want a piece of some of that Final Four stuff. Sorry, like, can we get to the Sweet 16? Maybe Admiral T could weigh in, because I can assess the marching bands.
I can. Sure, I can. Well, they're pep bands in basketball, right? So because they don't
They
march
cheer for
on the floor.
basketball. They cheer for basketball and land, man.
Well, yeah, pep bands, but they don't march on the basketball court.
Ah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, thank you.
Yeah. Next we have Sean.
I got nothing. I don't really have much news. I know every week I say I'm going to keep getting out to the garage and work on my models, and I never end up doing it.
Why don't you do a talk about how important it is that people track down the link for Casey?
Oh yeah, Casey Azowski. I think it's I forget the name of the
I'm going to
GoFundMe
check
page,
his
or the
channel
Give Send
and
Go
see if
page.
it's there.
You can find it on Tony's channel. I think he's posted on X. He's doing a lot of fundraising. Casey lost his Medicare and Medicaid for some reason, and he needs help. So
I would honestly think it was because he wasn't able to keep up with all the work. He's not that well, and even though some people consider it reasonable, if you're not that healthy and you don't have an advocate or someone to help you out, you could easily fall behind and lose your coverage or lose track of something. Casey also needs help. He's practically blind. They don't help you out a lot when you're blind. I'm not saying they cut you off. They give you, what you would consider reasonable in the world of that system. But
it's not enough for his needs.
Enough to live on. Not enough for his needs, not enough to live on. And also he gives back to us. And also, you know what? A community is about more than Stark and more than, what someone put on X that we can put down and make fun of. Like I am a uniter, which, is why I love Star Trek United's name, but I am a uniter. I'm not a divider. I want us to all unite around Casey and, please, it's been a tough season and you know what? His needs will go on. So if this is not the week, you keep it in your heart. And you know what? Maybe down the line you have 100 or you have 5. It doesn't matter. Just do what you can. If we all help each other out.
You could also just help him just promote his channel, watch his videos. He's got some great stories out there. I mean, if you just go to his channel and let his videos run. Get his videos some exposure, and maybe if he could get monetized or something,
give him your hype.
That would help.
Watch him on mobile. If you don't watch vertical streams, go on mobile and give him all your hype.
Yeah,
watch a stream on mobile and give him all your hype. That'll give him some AdSense exposure. I'm going to give him some tips on how to maybe bring in some more AdSense money with the outlier vertical stream. But I don't know how easy it is for poor Casey to set up a stream. There are things that he could do that are just beyond his ability. And without his being able to do it, like he has always been there. I mean, how many months has he been a Doomcock listener? 50?
For all of them, I think.
He might be one of the first 1,000.
Yeah, big time.
It's
so that's probably the best way to help him.
Get on my chair.
Check the Give Send Go page. Go to his YouTube channel. Watch his videos. Give them all a like. That's all free to do, and it's helpful.
It really is, and you guys have been absolutely amazing. There's some Star Trek vids dropping. There was none this week because JT and I, it's like between watching it, like if we would have watched it like that, we would have taken like 4.5 hours and we were already pretty shot. So as we close out your poll at 35 votes is fantastic. What grade do you give Star Trek United, sirs and madams? Sirs, it was an A, 46%. Sirs, it was a B, 40%. C, 6%. D, F, 9%. Jeremy, do you certify the poll?
It is certified.
Okay, so say we all.
So say we all.
There we go.
I want to do Battlestar Galactica at the end of Enterprise to show where they went, but not all of it, like just their opening movie, and then do TOS. 1 week of BSG. We did
Maybe
the
we
old
can find a couple of key episodes or something.
Yeah, I was going to say
would
some
love
select
Living Legend 1
spicy
and 2.
scenes with Starbuck or Boomer. Yeah.
No, I meant BSG too. I want to watch the opening movie. I want to watch So Say We All. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to wait. I don't want to spend all our time on this until we get to September to go to the footprint of the TOS series. We're just going to have to deal with that. We will start the celebration before the time that I would choose to do it, because I'm very nostalgic and sentimental about that, and I have a feeling that it would be great. But the most important thing we established tonight is that in my last life, I wore an iron boot with a very controversial sticker, symbol on it, and I've softened my stance. I now believe that if one can shame a coward, he can restore him to a sense of dignity. But I've given up on doing that to Kurtzman. I can't do it anymore. He's completely he's completely uninstructable. I mean, I've tried, but it all comes down. It's like Kurtzman, you know, like what is it that inspires you to write this?
The word decent doesn't apply to me.
He said what it inspired.
Sorry, Sean, what you were saying, that wasn't your
No, I mean, Kurtzman has said what inspires him for this, and it's not Star Trek, and it's not the fans, it's certain organizations that he disagrees with, and that's the important thing.
And runs around the office screaming with TDS all day. Something that, like, love him or hate him, I mean, like, you're 25% of the way through. We're moving into the future. There's going to be midterms, and you know what? You know, if you're depressed, wait 20 weeks. If you're exuberant and, you know, think everything's great, wait 20 weeks too. If it's true today, it'll be true tomorrow. We have a chance to, you know, have our national election coming up. There's no reason to be divided. There's no reason to be angry. And there's no reason to have anything but fun with this until there's time to decide. Then we all go, we do our thing, we get passionate. I guess there's a few weeks of like really heightened political stuff. And on this channel, yeah, we live in the real world. We have fun with it. The SAR stuff is fun. But for the most part, like, you know, I have quit the air. I went on real early, the State of the Union Day, and, you know, we stay away from it. But we do love you all. And you know what? I think you have, you know where I'm coming from.
To happen. I am going to be allowed to fulfill my destiny.
All right, here she is, Sydney Sweeney. But first, this is what happened to Sean Connery.
Anyone see that this is wrong?
and we all just stared at the space, and then I grabbed the hyperspray myself.
Thank you for joining today, guys.
That's the trans cock is back. All right, guys. We love you all. Here's Sydney Sweeney. Bye.
Can I finish, please?
Member stream tomorrow. We love you all.